sciences disagree exactly when that should or shouldn't be. You know, hepatitis B vaccine, it makes no sense to me. I've only delivered 5,000 babies, but we do a hepatitis test on every mom. By the time she delivers that baby, I know her pretty well. And if she doesn't have any risk factors, if she's not an IV drug abuser, if she's in a stable monogamous relationship, nobody at home has hepatitis, I don't know, I don't see the benefit myself in that hepatitis vaccine. Everyone's eligible for it, everyone can get it, and my pediatricians don't always agree with me. And no, I'm not saying if you don't know the hepatitis status of that patient, they shouldn't get it. I'm not saying if this person's had no prenatal care, that puts them at risk for hepatitis. Can you just speak a little bit, when you talk about transparency and trying to empower and make vaccines available, these should be treated just like a medication?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I say I'm not anti-vaccine. Saying I'm anti-vaccine is like saying I'm anti-medicine. Well, I'm pro-medicine, but I understand some medicines harm people. Some of them have risks. Some of them have benefits that outweigh those risks for certain populations, and the same is true with vaccines. And we don't understand the risk profile because vaccines are the only medical intervention, medical device, or pharmaceutical drug that are exempt from pre-licensing safety studies. And so there are two hepatitis vaccines, and one of them had a safety study that lasted for 4 days on 143 kids for a product that's going to be given to 76 million kids. Yeah. The risk profile prior to the introduction of the vaccine, the risk of a baby dying from hepatitis B was 1 in 7 million. That means you need to give 7 million hepatitis B vaccines to prevent one death if you're going to give 7 million.
So, Mr. Secretary, and I guess before the press labels me wrong, I'm not anti-vax either. I think MMR has been a great vaccine. The DPT's been a great vaccine. Polio's been a great vaccine. Smallpox. So there are great, but it's the measured approach that we're after, the transparency. You're trying to empower parents here. What I feel the difference is, sometimes my friends across the aisle feel like there's a one-size-fits-all, that they should be telling parents what to do. And what you and I are fighting for is we want to empower parents to make these decisions. I want to talk about morbidity and mortality of COVID for just a second. It is so true that two things can be true, and I don't understand why, just the rabbit hole some of my colleagues are going down. There's a big difference. When I was out there practicing, doing volunteer work, I was so confused myself on the numbers. People dying with COVID versus from COVID. And we still don't have that message, and I think that's what I hear you saying as well. How many died from COVID versus with COVID is a different answer. The situation today is so different when this monster virus was made in a laboratory in Wuhan, China, and none of us had ever seen this virus, and we had no immunity to it. But today, every American's had COVID a dozen times probably, and we built up immunity. I think that's why both things are true. It was a miracle. Warp speed was a miracle, what President Trump and his team did, and it saved millions of lives most likely. But it's also true that it probably killed some people. Like most vaccines do, there is a death rate associated. So both things are true. Anything else you want to clear up on the morbidity and mortality of COVID and COVID vaccines?
Well, I think you just cleared it up. You know, the COVID vaccine was critical. President Trump's leadership got it to us when our society was locked down. It allowed us to open up. It was, as I said, perfectly matched to a virus that was new in the experience of humanity. And so it was a miracle. Right now, we're dealing with completely different circumstances, where the virus has mutated, where it's much less dangerous, where there's a lot of natural immunity and herd immunity. And so the calculus is different, and it's complicated. And, you know, if you just want to turn everything into a soundbite, it makes it, you know, you can't have a grown-up conversation. But, you know, there were more reports to VAERS, which is the only surveillance system that we have, of injuries and deaths from that vaccine than all vaccines put together in history. So we have to acknowledge that there was a cause. We acknowledge that there was a benefit. We can't quantify either one because of the data chaos at CDC, and that's all I'm saying. And they think I'm being evasive because I won't make a kind of a statement that's almost religious in nature. Did it save 1 million lives? Well, there's no data to support that. There may be data, there's no study, there's modeling studies, there's faulty data. I'm not going to sign on to something if I can't do it to a scientific certainty. It doesn't mean that I'm, anti-vax. It just means I'm pro-science.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. Senator Lujan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Daskalakis, who recently resigned as director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, his resignation letter stated he and his team were never allowed to brief you. I'm curious who you're listening to, since it's clear you're not listening to qualified experts like Dr. Daskalakis. Can you give the committee the name of the person?
I don't consider Dr. Daskalakis.
Mr. Secretary, the question that I have for you is, can you give the committee a name of who you're getting briefed by?
I'm getting briefed all the time by CDC.
Just a name.
Well, Dr. William Thompson's one name.
Thank you very much, sir.
But I can get you a whole list of other, it's on my schedule.
Mr. Secretary, that's not a hard question. You know a lot of answers.
I'm not being evasive.
Okay, then you answered it. Let's go on. Now, you said that you're soon going to release a study claiming to reveal the cause of autism, timed unsurprisingly with the upcoming ACIP meeting to justify taking vaccines from Americans. Now, as you know, autism affects millions of children, so I guess you'd have the nation's top medical experts working on this. Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting a.
We have a lot that happens during the afternoon hours, one being RFK, Health Secretary, testifying before a Senate committee. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Taking a look at that, we had that on during our 9 to 11 stream. Again, he is testifying in front of a committee of senators, talking about.
We're not on, we have to restart.
Happy Friday Eve. Thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News on WCNC. Plus, I'm Nick Sertivant. Carlene Bragg is in front of me. How are you doing?
I'm in front of you. Hi, Nick.
Are you doing well today?
I'm doing well.
Megan Bragg is also here. We're going to get to Megan Bragg in just a moment. But I do want to point out, look, we have a lot going on this afternoon. Per usual, one thing that we want to get to and that we showed this morning is this. This is out of Washington, D.C. This is Capitol Hill, where RFK Jr. is being, I guess for lack of a better word, grilled by a Senate committee.
That's the proper term.
Yeah, testifying about what's going on with the CDC, vaccine policy, all the above within his sort of jurisdiction, his umbrella as health secretary. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But again, I mentioned Megan Bragg is here in studio, and we're talking about vaccines because there have been a lot of questions surrounding vaccines. We had her on earlier this week. Was that yesterday or the day before? This week is kind of just flying by.
I think it was the day before yesterday.
Yeah,
I think.
sometime.
It was about guidelines.
It was about guidelines on when you can go back to work
Yeah.
if you had
That's right,
COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now, that's still separate from that.
Sure.
There is confusion because actually getting the COVID-19 vaccine is becoming harder.
Yeah.
Explain.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's dive deep into it because
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's
It's
a
a little
lot.
bit confusing. Okay, so right now the guidelines from the FDA is 65 years older, or if you have a condition that is a health concern that you need this COVID-19 vaccine. However, right now in North Carolina and a few other states, you need, no matter your age, your conditions or anything, you need a prescription from a doctor in order to get a vaccine from a pharmacist. So if you go into a pharmacy today and you ask for the COVID-19 shot, you're going to need a prescription with that as well. And there is a reason why. North Carolina, like about 20 years ago, pharmacists were able to start giving vaccines, but there are some caveats around that. The North Carolina Board of Pharmacy says they have like a doctor, right? Like it's in Raleigh, and would write the script basically for everybody in North Carolina. And right now in order to do that, they need a final advisory committee on immunization practices, which is also known as ACIP. And they haven't met yet to talk about the COVID vaccine and approving the FDA's regulations and all of that. So that needs to happen first. They're supposed to meet September 18th and 19th. But this is a rule in North Carolina, is that they need that approval for ACIP in order for pharmacists to be able to give you a COVID-19 vaccine. So if you go into a pharmacy, you're going to need a prescription for the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, the committee is expected to meet either September 18th or 19th, so we will know more by then. But as of this point, in North Carolina, you are not able to get a COVID-19 vaccine unless you have a prescription. However, South Carolina, totally different. You can go across the border and get a vaccine anytime you need if you are 65 years older or have a condition.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this
No, I
is
just
this is
threw a lot
no,
at
this
you.
is interesting, and this is really great information
Yeah.
because folks, it's vaccine. I just got a text about a flu shot, and so how it was last year, as everybody knows, you know, they say, hey, just go ahead and get your COVID-19 shot
Yeah.
while you get your flu shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's different this year.
It's totally different. Now they are giving out flu shots. That's
Yeah.
not an issue. It's just this COVID-19 vaccine because ACIP has to make a final recommendation on it, and that's part of the CDC's immunization group. So, but if you can remember the people that are on that board, I think Kennedy just elected them to be on that board. So it's
Yeah.
all of his people. So it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
how this goes, what they're going to need, and if they give final approval for this. And, you know, I spoke with a pharmacist today, Oakhurst Pharmacy, Greg Dees. He's the owner and pharmacist there. He's a wonderful guy. And we just love him because he's very accessible
Yeah.
and able to talk about these things, which are super important.
And it's hard sometimes as journalists to get that voice.
to get,
so.
especially
Day of.
corporations
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So he was able to tell me, you know, he's like, Meg, listen, people are coming in every day. They sold out of COVID-19 tests because so many people were coming in. They just got a shipment like when I was in there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the COVID-19 vaccine right now because he's like, I can't really give it to anybody and I'm not going to stock up on this when there's so many like caveats to this, and he's waiting for that final decision too,
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to be under fire for doing
Right.
something wrong. So he's waiting for that as well. But he said a lot of people are asking a lot of questions, and he said he's been seeing a lot of sick people come in. So, yeah, very interesting.
I mean, even in our newsroom. I mean, I'm not to put
Right.
anybody, but it's just
Yeah.
that time of year.
It's that time of year, you know, and
Kids are going back to school.
yeah, there's going to be germs. If and it's, it's not always COVID, right? It's something
Yeah.
else, but
The crud, as a
Yeah.
teacher,
Yeah.
a third
Yeah.
grade teacher used to say,
Right.
it's the crud.
exactly. So, if you are if you're really concerned about this, I would have to say to people, if you are 65 years older and you have a condition and you qualify for this COVID-19 vaccine, I would say go to South Carolina. It's right over the border.
Yeah.
Because right now, and if you have a problem getting a prescription,
Right.
Right.
because they're able to give you that
Getting
vaccine.
a doctor's appointment can be a
Yes,
pain. We all
getting
know.
it-
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
obviously slams in
You
there
schedule months in
because-
advance.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you have telehealth too. Maybe
Sure.
they'll be able to do something. I'm not quite sure if there's a caveat there or not. But if you really, really need one, that's what the pharmacist is saying too. South Carolina, no problem.
I'd be curious to see maybe like a week's time, maybe a couple weeks time, if South Carolina, like if they're slammed,
Slammed.
because like at least in our area, because
Yeah.
we're right across the border,
Like Fort Mill.
if people are just flooding in
Yeah.
to the Palmetto State to get the shot.
to get the shot, would be definitely
Yeah.
interesting for sure.
And just to point out, Meg, we share content with them, so for lack of a better phrase, content partners. But
Yeah.
NBC4 in DC, they pointed out that 13 states, and obviously they included Washington D.C.
Yeah.
because that's the market they're in. They are included within this
yeah.
Walgreens, CVS, other pharmacies
CVS.
requiring that prescription.
Right.
So-
And we did get a statement from CVS
Okay.
saying that they're not giving it to people in NC unless they have a prescription. So, yeah.
A big development compared to where we were last year.
I know.
And even if you look back 5 years ago,
Right. Oh my gosh, 5
Yeah.
years ago we
or
were.
I guess I should say 4, because that's when we got the vaccine about
yeah,
4
yeah.
years ago.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
5 years ago we would have been not in here.
Yeah, no. Well,
not
we
as
kind
in
of got
here.
some social distancing going on.
okay, yeah.
Maybe enough. Megan Bragg, we can catch your story at 5. I was going
5.
to ask you, but
I knew
know
that,
I know the
yeah.
answer. I know the answer.
Okay, I'm glad you do. I'm glad you're staying on top of it.
I'm not going to make Meg get up and fake storm off again like I did
Oh,
before.
I would never again.
We love Meg. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
This is important information. I know we kid a lot, but
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's
very important, and I
Yeah.
think it's good for people to know and for us to get it out there. And like I said, shout out to Greg for really explaining it to us.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we have a wonderful relationship with people, especially doctors, pharmacists, because
Yeah.
we want to know, everyone else wants to know, so it's awesome.
and all of our parents are within that age range.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's real. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure when I talk to my mom later, that will come up.
Right.
So,
And all 3 of our moms are in different states too. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it just depends. It varies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have a list on our digital platform about where you
Okay.
can go.
Who can and can't.
who
Right,
can
right,
and
right.
can't. So it'll make it easy for people.
Got it. Meg, thank you for your time.
You're
Catch you
welcome.
at
Thank
5
you.
and then on our digital platforms. Have a great day, Meg.
Thanks,
and
you
see,
too.
we'll see you in the morning, right?
Yeah, I'll be in the morning.
Morning show. Make sure you tune in. Starting at 4:30. Meg Bragg will be there.
Well, I'll be on at 5 because I'm doing traffic.
5. Okay, 5.
Just don't turn us off.
This-
Just
Keep us on all day, every
all
day.
day.
Good point. Meg, thank you.
Thank you.
We mentioned it earlier, and again, we talked about it with the vaccine and just clearing up some of that confusion regarding the COVID-19 vaccine, I should say. Let's go now to, speaking of that, to this RFK Jr., top health official in the country, testifying before a Senate committee. I believe that's Senator Raphael Warnock out of Georgia, who was speaking earlier, but let's take a listen into what's being said right now.
These policies is making that affordability crisis worse, not better. And third, Mr. Chairman, the United States Senate is not doing its job. Healthcare. Citizens of the United States, our employers, our taxpayers, and our families pay the most and get the least. That has been persistent and chronic, and it's not being addressed.
All right, so it looks like that video froze right there. But again, you're taking a live look there at our nation's capital, Capitol Hill, as we hear from RFK Jr. He testifies. Regarding things like vaccine, okay, it looks like we have the shot. When that's Senator Raphael Warnock on that Senate committee talking right now. But again, RFK Jr. speaking regarding policies regarding the CDC. He is the top health official testifying. Again, let's take a listen into what's being said right now.
First, we have a healthcare affordability crisis in this country. And second, Secretary Kennedy's policies is making that affordability crisis worse, not better. And third, Mr. Chairman, the United States Senate is not doing its job. Healthcare. Citizens of the United States, our employers, our taxpayers, and our families pay the most and get the least. That has been persistent and chronic, and it's not being addressed, it's being aggravated. Let me be specific. In Vermont, a family of four that makes $82,000 in income with premium support on Obamacare now pays $6,970 for their health care premium. That is going to increase $23,000 to $30,000. That is unaffordable, it's shocking, and it's cruel. The big beautiful bill that we're talking about, Vermonters are going to lose 45,000 families lose health care. That is going to be a hammer blow to our hospitals because those folks who lose health care don't get a guarantee they won't get sick, and they're going to show up at our community hospitals. Our community hospitals are going to treat them, and they aren't going to be compensated. And it's why Vermont community hospitals are on a financial thin ice, and that's true that about 338 hospitals around our country are in danger of closing. Second, Mr. Chairman, I believe the Secretary made assurances to this committee, and he has not kept the promises he made. Prices have not come down, they've gone up. He assured Senator Cassidy that he would not change the standards for vaccine review. Yet since his confirmation, all 17 members of the Vaccine Advisory Board have been fired by him. He has limited the use of COVID-19 vaccine, and he has inexplicably canceled $500 million in vaccine research and funding. So, I'm not surprised. Stephen Miller credited you with being the crown jewel of the cabinet. And my observation about the crown jewel of the cabinet and the policies of folks who get rewarded are the ones who fire those in service that speak truth to power. Susan Menares, we've gone over that, fired because she refused to fire herself, staff without cause, and refused to rubber stamp changes to the vaccine schedule without data. The head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics was fired because she gave a report with honest numbers about the job report. CIA Russia expert who'd been there for 30 years, fired after the meeting with Putin. So, Mr. President, that is serious and worrisome. But I want to finally end by challenging us in the United States Senate to do our job. We have a constitutional responsibility to be a check and balance. And the fear of our founders was that there would be a concentration of power in one branch, and that would lead to catastrophic consequences for our country. And what has Congress done? On oversight and advice and consent, we have confirmed a vaccine denier. On tariffs, we've given up our constitutional responsibility. On appropriations, we're bending the knee to an administration that is rescinding and decided what to spend and what not to spend, despite what our law in a bipartisan way was passed. We cannot cede power, and there are consequences. A crumbling healthcare system, a deficit exploding, and our allies losing faith in us. Mr. Secretary, in the past, you have accused some of my colleagues of being in the pocket of Pharma shills. You did that with Senator Warren today. You've done it in the past with Senator Bennett and Senator Sanders. You are not a Pharma shill. But I believe we have to fight pharma and bring down the prices. And Senator Cortez Masto spoke about the legislation that we now have that would reverse the $5 billion handout to Big Pharma in the One Big Beautiful Bill. And when I leave today with Senator Wyden, we are going to go to the floor and seek unanimous consent to pass our legislation that would reverse that giveaway. And I ask you to put your policy in your body where your mouth is, and join us in supporting that bill to restore price negotiation power so those pharma prices can come down from being the highest in the world to something within range of reason. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you very much. Senator Young.
Welcome to the committee, Mr. Secretary. It's my intention not to raise my voice and to give you an opportunity to respond to an inquiry. I'm going to begin with long COVID. It shouldn't be a surprise to you. During each of our meetings, we've discussed my interest in making sure our government does its part to address this challenge, which afflicts, by most recent estimates, over 20 million Americans. They have been diagnosed. There are a number of others we know that go undiagnosed. Over 400 million people worldwide suffer from this at a cost of $1 trillion a year, which is roughly 1% of global GDP. This, we know, has had impacts on participation in the workforce, therefore our own GDP. So it's serious on a number of fronts. It's my hope we can come up with some therapeutics for this condition. One of the real barriers to that is seeing that we are able to launch more clinical trials. I want to get your update on how the clinical trials are going, what plans you might have in the works to increase the number of clinical trials as it pertains to long COVID.
Yeah, Senator, there was a project funded, a long COVID project at NIH. There was a huge amount of money spent on it. It yielded nothing.
I agree with that.
Right, and I think you know that we are doing now a different approach. We're launching a long COVID consortium. We're bringing together the best doctors in the country who have developed reputations for being able to treat long COVID. And one of them is a doctor that actually...
Dr. Bruce Patterson.
Yeah, Bruce Patterson, and then Dr. Jordan Vaughn, also from Florida. There's a number of them who are doing spectacular things where patients are reporting extraordinary progress. We want to get them all involved, all in one room. We want to identify the protocols that are working. This is something that did not happen during COVID. It was all ivory tower science, and the doctors who are on the ground were ignored. The same thing happened during the HIV crisis.
Yes.
And we're trying to do something different, which
So
is
my
really
time's limited. You mentioned ivory tower. And so that's a segue into a statistic that I've become familiar with over the years. It takes roughly 18 years for proven interventions, pharmacological or other types of medical interventions, to make their way out into the field. If we assume, I think a conservative estimate, 12 to 15 years until we have any really acceptable therapeutics for a long COVID, that's a cheerful estimate, plus the 18 years until it finds its way into clinical practice. People roughly my age will pass. Actuarially speaking, they will pass before there's any acceptable therapeutics. So we need to accelerate our current activities. Can you give me a couple of things you're going to do to ensure that we accelerate our development of therapeutics?
I mean, the best solution is the same kind of solutions that we should have been pursuing during COVID, which is off-the-shelf approved drugs for that are there already.
Yes.
So you don't have
it was
to go
recently
through
reported that all the major pharma companies, I'm sorry if there's one good student exception, are serving as barriers to clinical trials. That is,
It's
how can they
bizarre.
repurpose?
It is bizarre that that's happening. But
Okay,
we
you're
are
the
seeing that
Secretary of
happening.
HHS. Will you be cracking down on this lack of
Yes,
cooperation?
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Will you also be exploring research partnerships with other countries, seeing as I've established this is a global challenge?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what we should have done during HIV. It's what we should have done during COVID.
Will you also be exploring whether ARPA-H, which has different research protocols than NIH, NIH is very good at what they do, but it takes them a really long time to prove things because of their rigorous process. ARPA is more practical, right? And so one could imagine ARPA-H tackling this challenge. Will you be encouraging
We're
this or-
absolutely open to that, Senator.
Okay. Will you be working with me and other members of the committee on your aggressive strategy as it continues
Yeah,
to
and
be
looking for good
articulated?
ideas everywhere.
Okay, the last thing I'd like to briefly touch on with the chairman's indulgence is just recognizing the president's leadership as it relates to the appropriate use of civil commitment to deal with homelessness challenges, mental health challenges, et cetera. He's taking a look at these practices. This can be a difficult conversation for so many of us, but I think it is worth considering whether government can play a more assertive role in helping people off the streets who have serious mental illness get off the streets, receive the sort of treatment they really need to be healthy. Can you provide some very brief thoughts on this topic, and maybe then I could follow up with a phone call?
On the topic of,
Civil commitment.
yeah,
We can follow up,
it's
Mr. Secretary.
mainly happening in the States, so I want to hear your ideas on it if there's something that you think.
Yeah, I think the president said, you know, we ought to take a look at it. If there's somebody in 20-degree below zero
Yeah.
temperatures consistently in Washington, D.C., and they're believed to perhaps have mental health challenges, might we consider how to offer them care in
Yeah, and you know,
a
there's
controlled setting rather than allowing them to freeze to death? Might that be
Yeah.
humane as we
Well,
reconsider
perhaps the two of
application
you
of our
could
laws?
follow up on that with each.
All right.
And Mr. Secretary, you've been here just like a minute or so under 3 hours. We appreciate that. We're not quite done yet. Senator Wyden has asked for one more round, so I said he, as the ranking member, should have the right to have one more round of 5 minutes for himself. And so Senator Wyden, why don't you go ahead?
Mr. Secretary, we'll keep this brief. I want to ask about Mifepristone. I was the first member of Congress to hold a hearing on this drug, which now has served more than 7.5 million women. And of course, it is used for reproductive health and medication abortion. It has been documented again and again as safe, and people say safer than Tylenol. And the reason that I'm asking the question is that I'm getting reports that you've said you're going to conduct a complete review of Mifepristone's safety. And what we're hearing is it's not based on new clinical trials or data from the scientific community, but on one reviewed paper that's not a peer-reviewed paper by a political organization and Project 2025 sponsor whose stated mission is to advance an anti-abortion agenda. So what I'd like to hear today is for you to say that you'll commit that your best scientists, without bias, will be permitted to conduct this entirely unnecessary safety review. I don't see any evidence for it. You've called for it. But what I'd like to do is make sure that it's done right, and I'm very troubled by what I've heard about it. Your thoughts?
You have my commitment.
Okay.
That'll be good science and good scientists.
Okay. We'll get back to you to talk about specifically how that's going to play out, but I appreciate that. Okay, one last point for you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record declaration by these kids, some of them very young, who in the middle of the night, we were told by whistleblowers, are being whisked away and the like. And what I'd like to enter into the record are statements by these kids that we have learned about, and also a memo prepared by the Guatemalan government outlining the deportation effort into the record. We've been able to obtain that, and I think it's an important part of the debate. And with that, I beat my time of 5 minutes.
All right, without objection. Thank you very much, Senator Wyden. And we are now at the point where I'll just make a couple of very brief personal closing remarks. And then I've decided, Mr. Secretary, I said at the outset of this hearing it was going to be some partisan battling going on. That is something that is very obvious to anybody who's paid any attention to what's happened in the last 3 hours. There were several times that you were cut off, or I had to cut you off because we needed to keep moving along. And I'm not suggesting that you need to or should, but if there's anything that you felt you didn't have a chance to say, if you could briefly say it now, or if you would like, you'll have the opportunity to submit written responses to questions, which I'm going to reference in a minute, and you could make any further statements that you would like to make at that point. But
I think I'll have mercy on everybody here and let us adjourn.
all right. Wise choice. Let me just say now that senators will be allowed to submit questions to you for the record by next Thursday, September 11th, by 5 p.m. And I just want to say, Mr. Secretary, during former Secretary Becerra's tenure, responses to these kinds of questions for the record were not delivered in a timely manner. And the example I'm going to give you is that on March 22, 2023, he got questions. He answered in February 22, 2024, 11 months later. A year seems excessive. And I'm going to ask you and your team to not follow the precedent set by Secretary Becerra, and instead to respond as promptly as you can to the questions for the record that you receive. I ask that of every single nominee, and you may or may not recall, you've probably already told me you would do that in your nomination hearing. But with that, once again, to my colleagues, the deadline for submitting these questions for the record is September 11th at 5 p.m. And hearing nothing further, this hearing is adjourned.
All right, so it looks like they are taking a break here. RFK Jr. testifying on Capitol Hill in front of a Senate committee. Let's step aside from that. We want to take a quick break. 2 minutes, I promise. 2 minutes. We'll be right back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Like I said, only 2 minutes, and we're back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. Carlene's here. Jeb's here. The weather, I know this sounds generic and boring because we've been saying this for like a week now.
Feels great.
It feels great. It's perfect
Feels great.
outside. It's great.
So nice.
A little warmer today. A
Little
little
warmer.
warmer, but not bad, though.
Not bad.
You still can have your warm PSL
Yeah.
or your
You can have it iced or warm.
what did I call it? GML
Your golden milk thing.
latte.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeb, golden milk latte. We'll talk about it as we go to weather. Let's check in with meteorologist Majestic Storm for our full forecast.
Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. I'm WCNC meteorologist Majestic Storm, and boy, it is a gorgeous start to the day, a nice start to the afternoon, but we are watching a few sneaky storms that may start to develop this afternoon and this evening, especially in the mountains and the foothills, so it's going to be northwest of Charlotte. Beautiful, though, so hopefully you can get outside and enjoy this nice sunny Thursday before those storms do roll through. As we're heading into the weekend, the big story is going to be how hot it's going to feel. By tomorrow, temperatures, oh yeah, we're back into the 90s, plus it's going to be humid. And then on Saturday, if you have any plans, we do have a better opportunity for more showers and thunderstorms. But then by Sunday, we have a strong cold front that's all of a sudden going to knock our temperatures down into the 70s. And I'm talking about our daytime highs for multiple days in a row. Now, this is for Charlotte for the rest of the day. If you want to get outside, you want to mow your lawn, you want to work in your garden, maybe just find some lunch and have some lunch outside, I'd say absolutely do it. It's going to be beautiful for the rest of the day. And in the mountain locations, we've had plenty of sunshine, temperatures mainly topping off into the 60s and 70s. But remember, for the mountains and foothills, you do have a chance of seeing some strong to even severe thunderstorms before the day is all said and done. 80 degrees though for our good friends out in Morganton and Hickory, 82 in Maiden. As we're looking up towards Statesville, 82 for you, 86 in Lincolnton, much of the same as we're looking towards Rock Hill. Lancaster, 86 is you're going to be your daytime high as well, and that's right around where we should be for this time of the year. It'll be a little muggy as we're heading into today, but especially as we're heading into our Friday and Saturday. So although our temperatures will mainly top off into the 80s, it's going to feel a little warmer than that at times. Now, this planner is specifically for areas northwest of Charlotte. All areas shaded in yellow right here, you're under a low-end risk for severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center has you highlighted, meaning that there could be some instability out there, some fuel for those thunderstorms to fire up. And if they do, they could quickly become strong to severe, and we could see brief heavy downpours, lightning strikes, even some strong gusty winds. So we'll watch that system. That'll likely clip at least parts of our viewing area. And then we have another weekend cold front that moves through mainly Saturday night and into Sunday. And remember with that one, it gets a little cooler back behind it. This is what you need to pay attention to if you're watching in an area like Boone or Morganton, even Hickory. This is where some of those storms may form. Again, we have a risk for some severe weather, and we haven't had that since the 1st of August. So really, we've had a break from the severe weather potential, but now we just need to be mindful of it, although it is a low-end risk. Here's our futurecast, what radar could look like. Again, here's about 4 o'clock, watching the mountains, watching the foothills, again, staying north and west of Charlotte, but some of those storms may linger. Here's 10 o'clock at night, so they could rumble a little later in the evening. Waking up tomorrow, there's our Friday. I'm talking about blue skies and sunshine, a gorgeous start to our weekend. Friday looks nice, but it's going to be Saturday, at least the second half of Saturday, that we'll have to watch for another round of passing showers and thunderstorms. There's 3 o'clock, there's 6, 7 o'clock. So again, a few things heading our way. If you're picking up the kids after school today, send them out to play. Perfect weather, whether they want to head out and ride their bike or play some basketball, I say absolutely do it. There's the next 3 days, feeling hot today and feeling even hotter as we're heading into the next 2 days. But notice as we head towards Sunday and into next week, our highs, they only rise into the 70s. Our lows only dip down into the 50s. That's going to feel nice. And there's a full look at that 7-day forecast. Enjoy today. We're bringing the heat Friday and Saturday and then cooling down by Sunday.
Hickory looks beautiful. That is a beautiful shot of Hickory, North Carolina.
Looks
our,
nice.
our Hickory foothills cam.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to something live. We have some things going on. We want to go now to Washington, D.C., where First Lady Melania Trump is holding a AI education meeting. So basically, hosting a meeting on the White House Task Force on Artificial Intelligence Education, happening in the East Room of the White House. Linda McMahon, Education Secretary, is to her left, to our right on the screen. Let's take a listen into what's being said right now.
Magnificent world, infrastructure and energy, national security, and of course, talent. We must ensure America's talent, our workforce, is prepared to sustain AI's progress. And the Presidential AI Challenge is our first major step to galvanize America's parents, educators, and students with this mission. English is a new coding language for many, and with it, creativity will flow from every corner of America, sparking new industries, careers, and jobs. By supporting the Presidential AI Challenge, you are investing in our youth, America's next era builders. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our very determined Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, Mr. Michael Cartesius. Michael's vision will have a profound effect on how emerging technology shapes our future. Thank you, Michael.
No, thank you, Madam First Lady, for your remarks and for hosting this second meeting of the White House Task Force on AI education. And thank you to all of my colleagues on the task force here, including Secretary McMahon, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Chavez-DeRemer, Secretary Wright, and White House AI and Crypto Czar David Sachs. We are thrilled also to welcome a new member of a task force today, Assistant to the President for the Office of the First Lady, Haley Harrison. Thank you for joining us. It is an honor to have the support and advice of the First Lady as we seek to implement the President's plans to give America's children the chance to learn how to navigate our ever-changing technological world. As AI reshapes how people learn, work, and communicate, President Trump is committed to ensuring that Americans are equipped to lead the world in harnessing this technology for increased productivity and prosperity. To further that end, in April, the President signed an executive order focusing on the formation and promotion of AI educational and workforce development programs, especially for America's young people. Familiarity with how these exciting new tools work will, we hope, lay a very important foundation for a lifetime of innovation. That is why President Trump established this White House task force on AI education, and that is why this task force has helped put together the Presidential AI Challenge, which the First Lady launched just last week. And for that, thank you so much, Mrs. Trump. We are here today to talk about our future in the most real sense imaginable, how America's children can be prepared to build our country tomorrow with the cutting-edge tools of today. We are proud and grateful to announce new steps in fulfilling the mission of this task force and the President's vision for this AI challenge, as we welcome leaders from business, nonprofit, and education who are putting America's future first by pledging their resources to support AI training for American students, educators, workers, and families. So all of you here who are participating in the pledge, thank you for your generous pledges. The many contributors here today are committed to providing not only vital hardware, infrastructure, and education technology for students, but professional development opportunities for workers, for teachers, and for parents. Resources being made available include interactive lessons, educational toolkits, classroom guides, certifications, courses, workshops, webinars, and so much more. We are also honored to be joined by representatives of parent groups who we trust will continue to provide invaluable advice. We are humbled by the responsibility you share with us in educating America's children, and very proud to seek your input and participation in every part of this effort. And as a new father of an 8-week-old, this means more to me than probably anything else we're talking about today. No one loves this nation's children and students like you do as their parents, who are each child's first teachers. Americans of all ages look forward to celebrating 250 years of U.S. independence next year, and remembering our even longer national story of pilgrims, patriots, pioneers, conquering new frontiers, and building a future for their posterity. Today, we are grateful for this opportunity to invest in our children's future in turn, and to give this generation and generations of Americans to come the tools they need to master the frontiers of AI. Thank you all. And now, Secretary McMahon, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you very much, and what an honor it is to share the dais today with our First Lady and my former cabinet members and colleagues here today. I think AI is certainly one of those technologies that we must embrace, certainly because it is here. It is such a valuable tool, and we are certainly going to do our best to utilize it at the Department of Education. I think we're looking at our work in 3 AI areas. We are supporting current grantees. We are prioritizing future investments, and we're integrating AI in our own workforce at the department. So I am certainly, and maybe a little to the table later than some as an adapter, but clearly I certainly am now an adapter in utilizing some forms of AI, which I'm finding so incredibly helpful. And I bet that Barron is helping you with a little bit of this as well, and maybe charging you a little bit with that. I would think so. In supporting our current grantees, we've issued a Dear Colleague letter telling anyone who has received an ED grant that AI tools and technologies are allowable use of federal education funds. Our goal is to empower states and schools to begin exploring AI integration in a way that works best for their communities. And I'm next week actually going to go to the Alpha School in Austin, Texas, to see AI in action in the school, so I'll be anxious to report back and see how that works. We are prioritizing future investments as I've now made AI one of my priorities as Secretary. This explicitly encourages the integration of AI in teaching, learning, and school operations. Any grant applications that come into the department that utilize AI will be more strongly considered, for their grants. Might even get some bonus points for that. We want to integrate AI at ED. We're exploring ways to utilize AI in our processes across the department, not to replace human judgment and work, but to make us more efficient and effective. And I think that should be a goal everywhere. ED is fully aligned with the Presidential AI Challenge and is encouraging students and educators to explore AI technologies with curiosity and with creativity. It's not one of those things to be afraid of. Let's embrace it. Let's develop AI-based solutions to real-world problems and cultivate an AI-informed, future-ready workforce. ED strongly supports the Pledge to America's Youth. We are thankful to the folks in the room today and many others who have made commitments to expand AI access and understanding across schools, very important across all over the country. And as I am touring and visiting schools of all kinds of different schools around the country, I will be looking to see how AI is being utilized and totally impressed by what I'm seeing. We are helping schools prepare every school, every child, every student for the AI-driven world.
Thank you, Secretary Rollins.
Well, first of all, I will turn my microphone on. First of all, I just want to say thank you all. I'm Brooke Rollins, and what a joy to be up here with my fellow cabinet members. Michael Kratsios, you are just a visionary. And I think back to the first term when we were able to work together. It's just incredible to see you lead and drive and cast a vision supported by so many incredible people here, and I know your team. But it's just a joy to see this incredible perhaps one of the most important issues things, if not the most, that we have to address and embrace and build as a culture, as a society, as America. It's just so great. And to our incredible First Lady, it goes without saying that your strong and steady leadership and whatever you put your hand and your mind to is beyond what any of us could have hoped or imagined in terms of your leadership, your ability to move mountains for what you believe is important. I saw it with your Be Best campaign in the first term, and now to see you put your intellect and your heart and your work behind this is just incredibly encouraging. And as your friend, I'm just so grateful. So thank you for your leadership. And to all of our private sector partners in the room, I know we're going to get to hear from some of you. Many of you, again, we've worked together for some time, but this is the new Trump administration. This is most vexing challenges facing America. So for those of you that have made this a priority in the private sector, we're just so grateful for your leadership and your willingness to lean in, and realizing that sometimes in our country things can get fairly divisive, but your willingness to lean in and to be part of the universal approach to solving these massive problems is just so appreciated. So thank you. I want to say that President Trump has been very clear. The United States will lead the world in artificial intelligence, period, full stop. Not China, not any of our other foreign adversaries, but America. And with the First Lady's leadership and the Presidential AI Challenge, we are making sure that our young people are ready to win that race. And I think that's why we're all here today. From my perspective as the Secretary of Agriculture and hyper-focused on rural America and returning the golden age of prosperity to every corner of this great country, I would like to say that far too often for those living and working in our rural parts of our country, that often those are left behind and do not always have the same access to the most recent technological innovations that our urban counterparts across the country do. We cannot let that happen with AI. The agricultural sector, who feeds and fuels and clothes the country, who provides the national security in terms of feeding ourselves and fueling ourselves, has the potential for a seismic shift driven by the integration of cutting-edge technologies like AI. While AI has already made some inroads in our farming practices and with our farmers and ranchers, its potential in agricultural education, and we're here to talk today about education, is equally transformative. From personalized learning experiences to predictive analytics for curriculum design, AI is reshaping how agricultural knowledge is imparted and absorbed. This is why USDA will leverage partnerships with 4-H, the Cooperative Extension System, and the National Future Farmers of America to bring the Presidential AI Challenge into the heart of rural America. With potential to reach nearly 6 million youth through 4-H and then 1 million through FFA, the sky really is the limit to change the future of rural America. Microsoft and FFA have already developed a partnership called Farm Beats for K through 12 students, where they can work with environmental sensor systems to monitor soil moisture and detect nutrient deficiencies. These changes will make our farmers more efficient and make our food supply more nutritious. In addition to amplifying the Presidential AI Challenge with our partners, USDA is well prepared to support research, extension, and education activities that promote the use of artificial intelligence. In fact, USDA led the way in the first Trump administration through the creation of 5 AI research institutes at our amazing land-grant institutions. This collaboration brought together government, academia, and industry and totaled over $100 million in investments in Trump 1 5, 6, 7 years ago to research the use of AI in agriculture. In addition to the cutting-edge research being conducted, a key tenet of these institutes is education and workforce workforce development. We can point to many examples of this at USDA in supporting the training of an AI-ready workforce. Last month, we had an AI Institute for Resilient Agriculture at Iowa State University holding a workshop for over 250 farmers to show how the AI tools they develop can assist in pest identification and management. Also embedding AI education and apprenticeships into many of our USDA grant programs. While there is more work to be done and the sky is truly the limit, examples like Texas State University creating a technology and leadership education network focused on AI, providing apprenticeships, courses, and workshops to integrate precision agriculture, training youth and education about new agricultural technologies such as unmanned aerial systems at Tennessee State University, and over 600 high school students in Colorado being trained on advanced technologies for agriculture like robotics and automation. Up today, before I hand it over to my amazing colleague, Lori Chavez-DeRimmer, our Secretary of Labor, there is so much.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Right there is Education Secretary Linda McMahon, also Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture, and First Lady Melania Trump. They're talking about a White House AI task force. So we want to shift away from that. And we want to go to some breaking news out of the Phoenix, Arizona area, actually Mesa, Arizona, to be exact. So this is a bird's eye view of what's happening. So what we know now, we actually had a better shot earlier. Hopefully
it'll zoom in.
It'll zoom back in. But scary situation. A worker was changing light bulbs at Hohokam Stadium. I believe that's the name of the stadium. That's where the A's, they do spring training. You see that worker right there on the lights. If you see him, you see his feet, his legs and his feet there. But he's stuck there. He got struck in the head by an unknown object. And it looks like he's doing okay. He doesn't have life-threatening injuries. I'm reading this from NBC right now in real time. But we do know he isn't feeling well and cannot climb down safely. So right now, Mesa Fire and Medical are in the process of getting him down. You see the fire trucks, you see emergency crews at the bottom. They're focusing on that light to your right. And again, you can't see it, but you can see, obviously, as first responders. We happened to come across this a couple of minutes ago on our feeds, and we're like, holy cow, what is going on?
High up in the air.
High up.
High up in the air.
Here's one thing. It doesn't take me getting hit in the head to not feel well.
Right.
Being up that high, I just want to point that out. But he was struck in the head by an unknown object while changing light bulbs up there at Hohokam Stadium. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's our best guess. But again, that's where they don't play in Oakland anymore, but the A's, athletics, soon to be Las Vegas A's, they do spring training there at that stadium in Mesa, Arizona, which is in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So, okay, you see that shot right there in the center screen. You see the shirt.
Yeah.
That is that worker stuck there on those lights. And there's nothing else you really can do. What can you do? I mean,
but sit. I mean.
And what we notice is he's strapped on, which makes sense if you're doing something like that, working on lights, you're for your own safety. But he looks like he's just sitting there, which he is, as you see. And again, we're getting reports that he isn't feeling well after being hit in the head by an unknown object. And cannot climb down safely, obviously, as you see there. But yeah, this is a look at that man as he is sitting up there. He was just trying to do his job, change those lights from what we're hearing and what the report is coming in. And just to backtrack, and in case you just tuned in here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, a worker was changing lights at this stadium here in Mesa, Arizona, and when he got struck in the head by an unknown object, he was it seems like he's not in a life-threatening condition. He doesn't have any life-threatening injuries, but from what we know from NBC, KPNX is reporting he isn't feeling well and cannot climb down safely. So you saw those crews there. It looks like they were mapping out how to get him down.
Right.
Fire crews, emergency responders, doing what they can to get him down safely. But you see there, this is the home of the athletics, the A's, for spring training.
I just checked the temperature. It's 83 degrees there right now. So
yeah.
thankfully it's not the brutal Arizona temperatures, but
it's
still
not,
not exactly cool either.
not a day here in Charlotte where a lot cooler. So again, this is a wide look of the stadium, of everything happening. This is from the helicopter there with our content partners, KPNX, in Mesa, Arizona. Again, emergency crews are there on the bottom and the ground below, over there by the stands, trying to get a worker who was changing light bulbs at Hohokam Stadium down safely. From what KPNX is reporting, he got struck in the head by an unknown object. Right now, they are reporting he isn't suffering from life-threatening injuries, but he isn't feeling well and cannot climb down safely. So again, you have Mesa Fire and Medical right now in the process of trying to get him down. You see him there sitting down. Again, we're getting reports that he's not feeling well. I don't think too many people would feel
That's
well.
what I'm saying, like if you hit your head and then you're that high off the ground, I don't know if anybody would be feeling great.
Man, I can't imagine what's going through his head right now.
There's not much. I mean, it's like we were saying. It's like, what do you kind of have to sit and wait it out.
You have to sit and wait it out. And luckily, he is there in a safe position. I know that's weird to say, a safe position, because he's up so high, but he's in a position where he's sitting down.
But workers like that tend to these, like that's they're used to.
They're used to this
heights.
height. So he is strapped right now to
the pole.
To the pole. Let me go to our content partners, KPNX, see if they have any more information about this. We have kind of been searching around to see if we can find. We have little details about it, but those few details are very, very, very important. Again, the helicopter is just sort of circling around the stadium right now, zooming in and out. Again, this is a close shot of that worker who is stranded up there on that utility pole, on that light pole, waiting to get down safely. Again, he was just up there changing a light bulb. And for what KPNX, our content partners there in Phoenix, Arizona, report, he was struck in the head by an unknown object. He's not facing any life-threatening injuries, but he's not feeling well from what they are reporting. So he's up there high. I wonder how high that is.
Pretty high.
And I guess we don't need a number to justify how high it is. It's pretty high. And again, this is the home of the Oakland A's spring training. Like whenever they do spring training, they come here, they practice, they play. So this is where the athletics, I almost said Oakland Athletics, they're no longer in Oakland, but that is sort of besides the point right now. Again, there is a worker up there stuck there, sitting down, waiting for rescue crews to come get him down. I was trying to see if there was any sort of, I don't even know if people know that he's up there, because as the camera is kind of panned around and the helicopter keeps working its way around, people are kind of walking casually. I don't think people realize that a man is up there.
How often are you looking at the lights?
That is also fair. That's fair. That is fair. That's fair. And
whenever you drive by stadiums, how often do you just look up?
No, it's just, and I'd say that because, to your point, Carlene, how often do we see this?
You just check them out, yeah.
But this is a view of that worker. Do we know this is a man?
I believe.
I mean,
it appears
to be. I don't. Let me make sure.
Nothing confirmed.
Yeah, this is a male worker.
Yes.
Again, it looks like he is just up there. He's sitting down. He is strapped to that light pole. Again, I just want to reiterate, a worker was changing light bulbs at Hohokam Stadium there in the Phoenix, Arizona area when he got struck in the head by an unknown object. We're told he isn't feeling well. He isn't in life-threatening condition, but he cannot climb down safely. So first responders are working to get him down right now. Again, this is a live look out of the Phoenix, Arizona area, Mesa, Arizona to be exact. All right, so we will continue to keep an eye on this developing situation there in Arizona. For now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News. All right, we're back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant, Carlene's in studio, Jeb's in studio, and we want to get out back to this breaking news situation right now. Emergency crews are trying to get a man down safely, stuck on a light pole there in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So what we know is a worker was changing light bulbs at Hohokam Stadium when he was struck in the head by an unknown object. He doesn't have any life-threatening injuries, but he isn't feeling well. That's according to our content partners, KPNX in Phoenix. And he cannot get down safely. So again, first responders and emergency personnel are working to get him down right now. So we will continue to keep an eye on this situation. We first brought you this here on Live Impact News, and we'll continue to update you as this situation develops. All right, so we want to head back now to Washington, D.C. Another event, a live event that we're keeping an eye on is this. First Lady Melania Trump hosting a meeting of the White House Task Force on Artificial Intelligence Education in the East Room. Let's take a listen in.
Through a groundbreaking program called IBM Skills Build, which we launched to help expand access to AI education, but also to create pathways for these high-demand technical roles. A quick example, Zach Switzer is a high school teacher at the John Marshall School of IT in Cleveland. He used IBM Skills Build to acquire the foundational knowledge himself and then to give his students, in turn, that knowledge. These examples need to get multiplied 100 and 1,000-fold in order to bring these AI skills into the communities. Teachers like Zach in schools across the country can access AI learning through IBM Skills Build, adopt the modules into the classroom, and then help the students gain these valuable skills to take into the workforce and hopefully find a great paying job. This is only one of many success stories, but when it comes to meeting the growing demand for AI, no organization can do it alone. This is why IBM is proud to be part of the President's program and part of his National AI Education Initiative with its emphasis on collaboration across the different sectors. We look forward to working with the administration and with all of our partners to achieve these goals. Thank you. With that, Cameron Wilson of Code.org.
Thank you so much, and I deeply appreciate the invite today so that Code.org can speak to you about our nonprofit work that we're doing around AI education. So just a few months ago, 450 CEOs, many of whom are in this room today, came together and called on states to require computer science and AI education for every student. Only 12 states do this today. These leaders really recognize the moment that we're in, which is AI education is the global competitiveness issue that faces us today. And we really need to meet this moment with an education system that provides students with AI education, and specifically, students really need to learn how AI works. They really need to understand the opportunities, the risks, the limits of AI, and the underlying computer science that is driving this innovation forward. Simply learning to use AI just won't be enough. We need to spark their curiosity and build their confidence so they can be agile as the workforce changes with AI, or as AI changes itself. And we need to empower them so that they can envision and really express how they can shape a better future with AI. Steve Jobs had a great quote he used to have, and it was why he loved to learn computer science, because it taught him to think differently about problems. And that doesn't change in the age of AI. So both the Presidential AI Challenge and the AI Executive Order recognize the moment that we're in. They will catalyze state-led efforts to help modernize our education system. AI changes itself. And we need to empower them so that they can envision and really express how they can shape a better future with AI. Steve Jobs had a great quote he used to have, and it was why he loved to learn computer science, because it taught him to think differently about problems. And that doesn't change in the age of AI. So both the Presidential AI Challenge and the AI Executive Order recognize the moment that we're in. They will catalyze state-led efforts to help modernize our education system. And I want to thank the White House and the First Lady's leadership on this, because this is a priority we must place in our AI education system. Ever since Hadi Partovi and myself began the work about 12 years ago with Code.org, we've helped change the global education system by bringing computer science education to 100 million students worldwide. And we've passed policy reform to embrace and prioritize computer science education for all 50 states. And now that changes with involving AI education with computer science. So we're the global leader that brings together partners around students and teachers and administrators so that they can be part of this global education movement. And as part of the AI Executive Order, we're committing to evolving and expanding this movement by engaging 25 million learners, including students and teachers and parents in the Hour of AI this year. This will be for this school year. Our goal is to partner with 25 states over the next 3 years to help promote and build out AI pathways, AI standards, and the AI Education Act. We're developing and scaling a new free open source high school course focused on AI, AI Foundations, which we plan to have reach about 400,000 high school students in the US by school year 28. And we want to provide free open source computer science and AI learning for about 9 million students, K-8 students by school year 28. Those are the things that we're committing to do to really transform our education system so that students can thrive in the age of AI. But we've always acted at Code.org with a broad community of partners, including teachers and administrators and parents and leaders across all levels of government from all different parties. And particularly with our lead partners, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, have always been a really unique contribution to our coalition, and numerous other companies that are in this room. pulling together this broad coalition of leaders has been the unique strength that we've helped build this global movement. And with AI education, we have a chance to both reinvigorate and expand this movement so that we can fulfill our vision that every student has a chance to learn AI and computer science and modernize education. So we would love for any organization that wants to partner with us to help us bring computer science and AI to the next 100 million students over the next decade. So thank you very much. And I want to turn it over to
Mrs. Trump, Director Kratsios, esteemed cabinet officials, hello, and it's a real honor for me to be here to support the First Lady's Presidential AI Challenge. I think you're really inspiring young people to use technology in extraordinary ways. It's a deeply important issue for us as a company. At Google, we see AI as the most profound way we'll deliver on our mission and transform knowledge and learning. We really imagine a future where every student, regardless of their background or location, can learn anything in the world in a way that works best for them. We've been really focused on this for decades. It's why we built Chromebooks for every classroom, why we have worked to make our AI model, Gemini, one of the best models for learning. It's why we are offering our Gemini for Education to every high school in America. We are providing access to every high school student and every teacher with our best AI tools, including guided learning. We recently committed $1 billion over the next 3 years to support education and job training programs in the US. And today, I'm excited to share that $150 million of that $1 billion will go towards grants to support AI education and digital well-being. This includes support to code.org to transform its curriculum and integrate new AI features. We're also providing support to the Flourish Fund to support nonprofits, helping youth aging out of the foster care system with tools to succeed in the workplace. For college students, our AI for Education Accelerator has expanded from 100 colleges and universities to 200, including the Texas A&M University System and Iowa's community colleges. And we've set up a centralized place for teachers and parents to get all our best AI training in one place, something we've heard can be really helpful. This is all in the service of helping the next generation to solve problems, fuel innovation, and build an incredible future. These are all goals we all share. We are incredibly thankful for the partner.
All right, so you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We want to shift away from this, and we want to go back to some breaking news that we were following earlier. Let me pull it up for you. This is a look there in Phoenix, well, I should say Mesa, Arizona. This is in the Phoenix, Arizona area, where you see that person up there at the top of your screen. That's a worker who got stuck up there changing lights. We wanted to bring you back because it looks like rescue crews have made their way up there to bring this man down finally to safety. You see an emergency crew there. So what we saw earlier were crews huddling below trying to plan out how to get this man down. From KPNX, our content partners there in Phoenix, Arizona, they were reporting that he was hit by an unknown object while changing lights here at the stadium. And they say that he doesn't have life-threatening injuries, but he is not feeling well. So you see that worker up there climbing.
Yeah.
And wow, this is scary. I'm not gonna
lie, that was a little scary.
Brave rescue worker there, climbing up there, and all the other folks who are up there as well there, because there was a they jumped in a bucket.
Yeah, and they lifted it up.
They lifted it up, and so he is making his way up there to get him down safely. We're watching this in real time, guys, so it's not like I have any sort of inside scoop of what he is actually doing. We're watching this in real time. You're watching it with me in real time.
There's no audio either.
There's no audio at all. So we have to watch and see what happens. So that worker is actually, it looks like, and we saw this earlier, we noticed that he was clamped down or
he attached himself to the pole.
Thank you, to the pole. Which is normal when you do work like that, so high up from the ground. And again, this is he's there because he was changing light bulbs, and he was struck and he couldn't get down safely. So emergency crews were called. Still some questions on how first responders were alerted.
Right.
How long he's been up
How long
there.
I'm unclear on how long he's been up there.
Let me see. Okay.
I did look, like I said before, it's like 83 degrees there right now, so it's not like boiling Phoenix, heat. Still not like exactly cool, but
No. But it's hot.
For people in Phoenix, this doesn't fell too bad.
Yeah, but it's hot. If you're stuck
It's
up
still
there,
hot,
it's
and you're
hot.
stuck in a metal pole. Yeah, it might be a little. It might be a little warm.
But to your point, it's not triple digits like it
Sure.
would be there. Okay, KPNX, our content partners who are providing this shot for us. Here's what they have posted on their website. So Mesa firefighters are working to help an injured worker stuck at the top of a light pole at Hohokam Stadium. Hohokam Stadium, just for some context and background, they are the home of the Major League Baseball team, athletics. Their spring training operations are based out of there. Okay, so KPNX continues and writes, on Thursday, the worker was changing light fixtures when he sustained a head injury and felt he couldn't climb back down the structure. A crew is communicating with the worker, and again, as you see, they sent a team member up there to help him down. The incident is on the north side of the stadium, located near Center Street and Brown Road, if you're familiar with that area at all. Again, this is a developing story there. So we got a little bit more information on what happened. Again, he struck in the head as he was changing light fixtures, wasn't feeling well, and couldn't make his way down safely. So crews were called, and now they are working to get him down safely. So we're going to hang on the shot just to see what unfolds here now. And again, it's always, I don't think I've watched this type of rescue in real time.
No.
And so this is happening in real time here, only on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. This is the only place you're going to get it like this, stripped down raw,
We are
in
learning
real time.
as quick as you are.
As quick as you are, we are learning. So it looks like that worker, and I don't even want to. I don't want to guess, and I don't want to speculate at all. So I'm not going to do that at all. But you could see there,
Tying something.
he's tying something, like a rope.
I don't know to what.
And we were curious as they were coming up how they were going to get him down.
Right. Because the bucket only goes so high. Actually, I don't know. I'm not
we don't
familiar
know.
with it. Maybe if there's somebody that call in or somebody to let us know about if you know anything about
And we
heights
didn't.
and buckets and these sort of high angle rescues. But
And we don't know if it's as simple as we thought it was as simple. Well, maybe we didn't think it was as simple as that, but we thought it could be, hey, you have the bucket, you could just kind of raise it up high enough, and they could pull him to safety. But a little bit more complicated than that, as we are realizing. And kudos to those first responders, because this is something that. And talking to first responders, and not specifically on this situation, but in the markets I work with, you prepare for the worst.
Absolutely.
And so you have training on this. So it's not like they come out there and they're blind to the situation. They don't know what to do. They may have to plan logistically, because every scene is different. But the know-how, they know how to do this. This is what they do. They train for this. Again, they train for the worst. You don't want the worst to happen, but when the worst happens, you want somebody who knows what they're doing. And so that's what's happening. So it looks like he is pulling up something. I don't know. And I can't. Okay, he's pulling up.
I don't know what that is. Wait till the camera comes around.
Yeah, the helicopter is just kind of doing
a circle.
A circle around this entire. You can see that worker there sitting down. He's been sitting down the entire time.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense if, one, because he's not feeling well, because he can't get down safely by himself. The reason why emergency crews have come.
Safer sitting than standing.
Yeah, that is correct. So he is there, and we are keeping an eye to see how he gets brought down. Again, we are learning this in real time. And again, as I mentioned earlier, emergency crews, first responders, they prepare for this, they train for this. They don't train for...
All right, looks like somebody else is about to...
Look,
see that? Climbing up,
okay.
right?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Somebody else is climbing up.
They're out of the bucket and they're climbing on the ladder.
And I mentioned earlier how it didn't look like people were paying attention of what was going on. I could see some folks.
Right.
Obviously, now you see emergency crews
Yes.
up on a light pole, so it attracts more attention. So it looks like this other emergency responder is climbing up. He's like scaling the light pole.
Mm-hmm.
And he's tied. He's tethered to something.
Yeah, so he can like rappel down.
Yeah. And so I wonder if, again, I'm not going to speculate. I don't want to speculate. I don't.
We are not first responders.
No, we're not first responders.
We are not trained in any sort of high-angle rescue. So all you can do is sit and watch.
So, yeah, let's watch how this is unfolded. So there's another crew member up there who was able to get up there. The same way, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. During the break, I was watching. Yeah. The guy climb up, just like this guy's doing.
This guy's climbing up, and we are hoping that everything.
We hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. At one, again, just to catch you guys up on what's happening. So Mesa firefighters there in Arizona are working to help an injured worker struck at the top of a light pole at Hohokam Stadium. So this morning, the worker was changing light fixtures when he sustained a head injury and felt he couldn't climb back down the structure. That's according to officials. And I'm reading this from KPNX, our content partners there in Phoenix, Arizona. So a crew has been communicating with the worker as they send up a team to help this worker down. The incident is occurring on the north side of the stadium, located near Center Street and Brown Road. So if you're familiar with the area, this is where this is all playing out. Again, this is a sort of a wide shot of where this light fixture is. You can see firefighters below there in the parking lot. They basically took over that section of the parking lot as they strategized to get this man down who was injured, changing light fixtures.
We also don't know, it's like we said before, how long he's been up there.
We don't know. And we first, I need to go back to my notes to kind of.
I just see from KPNX, it just says on Thursday morning, not like, doesn't give me a time, and they're 3 hours behind, right?
So we first cut in on this a little over 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a little over 30 minutes ago, I should say. So we've been keeping an eye on this for 30 minutes, and he's probably been up there longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of sheer, first responders have to get there, and everything and strategize, and things have played out. But again, you're taking a live look there, as there are now 2 first responders up there helping that worker down, struck in the head.
It's a tough day on the job.
That is a tough day on the job. I mentioned earlier, hey, he doesn't, the reporting is that he is not feeling well, but not too many people would feel well being up that high.
Being up that high, period.
Yeah.
And then you get bonked in the head.
In a life-threatening situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're keeping an eye on this, and we're hanging on this for a bit.
Now it looks like they're pulling something else out.
And I wonder if there are protocols on. I'm sure. Yeah. On this. I mean, again, we're looking at this in real time, but I guess to complete the thought is protocols on rescue efforts when it comes to something similar to this.
You have to imagine it's like a complicated structure too to be rescued.
Yeah.
I mean, how big is the platform they're on? Can't imagine. I mean,
doesn't look that big.
Doesn't look that big. Looks like they're just scooting back and like you can't really walk comfortably on it. So, and you've got, all these poles, like, it's complicated.
Yeah. And you got to figure out a way to wedge him.
It's no wonder it kind
through.
of took a minute for them to get up there. Like,
Yeah.
you had to strategize. How are we going to get in there?
Right.
How are we going to get these ropes up?
You want to take your time, but you want to also get them safely as
Sure.
quickly as possible. So it's that balance of making sure, hey, we don't want to make one false step, but also we want to make sure he gets down and gets treated because he is injured. He was hit in the head by an unknown object from what KPNX is reporting, and he felt he couldn't climb back down. So that's a shot. Okay.
It kind of hiccups here and there.
Okay. Yeah, because he's lying his head. Yeah.
I think I think that's what some of these extra lines that they're kind of tying him up for are as they move him. I think they're worried about his ability to stay conscious, to stay mobile, and clearly they have to get him off of that platform. So I think they're doing extra reinforcement measures to make sure that as they move him, and he's kind of a little. Not
wobbly.
Wobbly, that's
Yes.
the word I was looking for. Thank you. To be just extra sure, goodness forbid something happens. And
We also don't know how severe that head injury is.
right, exactly.
either,
I mean, this looks, he's
so-
clearly wearing a helmet, but it
Yeah.
looks like it's a serious thing.
So that is a look right now. Again, that shot's chugging along, so it should pick back up at any moment. But that's a look at what's a scary situation there. There in Mesa, Arizona, as a worker is stuck up there. I'm gonna take you away from that and again, kind of walk you through what's happening as we work to get that shot back. Mesa firefighters are working to help an injured worker stuck at the top of a light pole at Ho-Hokum Stadium. Ho-Hokum Stadium is where the athletics, formerly Oakland Athletics, do spring training. And to Jeff's point, he sustained a head injury, so they want to make sure, you would think, to make sure that he's conscious and that he's okay as they bring him down.
Right, he can't just walk off onto their device that got them up there. I mean, he has to take a second to.
It also doesn't seem like they can walk much at all. Like the platform they're on, I can't
No, there's
imagine
no
how
room.
wide it is, but it can't be much.
What I'm curious about is they say unknown object. I think we immediately assume it was a light bulb or something that hit him, but there's not a whole lot that could become. I mean, there's not a whole lot higher than him that could have fallen on him, right? You presume it wasn't something from the sky. Like, I'd be curious to know.
Could have been a bird or something.
It honestly could have. I mean, I know it
have
sounds kind of
no
silly, but
idea.
he's 100 feet in the air. Like,
Yeah, he's
up
high.
there.
He's high up. He's high
very
up.
high up there.
And below you see
You see the people.
you see TV crews there. You see people there.
Yeah, folks are gathering now.
Well,
Because
it's like what we said earlier. Is like there was really not many in the parking lot.
yeah,
And,
nobody knew.
nobody was slowing down because you can't really tell if there. How often do you look at lights when you drive by?
That is, yeah. To your point, yeah,
Can't
because
really tell if anybody was up there or not.
we're looking at it from the vantage point of we know what's going on, but
Right.
to your average person, you don't know
You don't
somebody
know.
is up there. And so right now they are working. They've been up there. We've been on this for the better part of 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Closing in on 40 minutes as we look at what's happening. This rescue, again, crews are working to rescue a worker stuck there in stadium lights. As he was changing light fixtures, he was hit in the head, sustained the injury. Luckily, not sustaining any life-threatening injuries, but not feeling well and can't come down. And so they had to call for help. And so crews are there. It took them some time to sort of strategize on what they wanted to do. They finally got up there. Two first responders are up there helping this man down.
There's a third in the bucket.
There's a third in the bucket.
Down,
Okay.
yes.
And you forget about the bucket because we're
Can't
so
see
focused
it
on
from
the.
from this shot, but yeah, it's a complicated rescue.
Yeah, that and I mentioned this earlier, but like they train for different scenarios, not just this one, but others. So this is something that again, you can't predict when things like this happen. But they are prepared when something like this happens, and so firefighters are there, and first responders are there working to not only make sure he gets down safely, but make sure he does and doesn't sustain further injury.
Right.
That he sustained up there fixing light fixtures. And so you see that first responder, he's climbing. Okay, so he's climbing to, or trying to climb to the top.
We're learning. We're watching this in real time, people. So we're kind of being play by play right now. But
I'd be interested. Well, it'd be interesting to see if he climbs to the top of that opening. If they're trying to get him
to go up, to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like we said, there's a lot of smaller poles and things that's making this structure very complicated for somebody to just. You can't really walk freely. You can't.
There's not an
really
opening
move.
right
No.
there.
So you go down or you go up to go down.
So again, you see that's a wide shot of the scene right there. And so now we can see the guy, the other first responder there in the bucket, just feet below, as they work to get this worker down. A tough situation for that man, a scary situation for that man, as he's been stuck up there. We don't know how long he's been stuck up there. Again, this is in Arizona, so the time difference, Jeb, is what? At this year? Is it 3 now?
It's like 2 to I think it's 3.
We go to the good old world clock. It's 11:05 there right now.
Yeah. I want to see when they turn around to get a good vantage point of that.
Well, looks like we're trying to move here.
So it looks like they're trying to.
Looks like the man's either trying to just scooted himself. It looked like he maybe was trying to get up. Or position himself in a different way.
The question I have now is the actual rescue operation, because essentially the way I see it is you have 2 options. You can try to get him into that bucket truck.
Yes.
Or if you have enough rope, and it seems like they have lots of equipment, if they're going to put him down and try to rappel him down. Because when you do I had friends who got stuck climbing a mountain, like they were like rock climbing, and the way to do it was the crew got up there, had a giant rope, and then actually rappelled them down in like a bed, like a gurney almost.
Yes.
That might be safer because that's fewer
steps,
moving parts. Right. I mean, you are in complete control of that. So I can't tell what they're doing, but given the amount of time and preparation, you see tons of equipment on there with those rescue crews. That may be their plan.
Strategy.
Yeah,
or at least lower him into the bucket truck, obviously.
Right. Yeah, this is, man, I mean, I know it's cliche to say, but talking about terrifying.
Right.
You're up there changing a light fixture.
On a platform that's only a couple feet wide.
Yeah. And I'm sure this is not his, if I had to guess, I'm sure this is not his first time doing this. And then you get hit in the head and then you're disoriented and you have to call for help. And you're up, feet, I mean.
Feet like
high.
Quite a bit high.
Really, really high.
Very, very high.
So it looks like he is.
In the Phoenix sun.
He is in the. He is.
Which is unforgiving.
Yes.
It's only getting hotter.
It's only going to get warmer.
So it looks like they are. He is trying to move. He's lifting himself up. Oh, okay. Helicopter is moving. So I don't know if the helicopter is moving out of precaution.
I think it's getting a wider vantage point.
But it looks like he was moving his position to get in a better position to be lifted out. If, we don't know how, but that is a wide shot just to kind of give you a wide view of what's happening. You see first responders below. There's media below. There are people that are around there below checking this out. Now every day you see first responders responding to a light fixture. There, a light pole. So, trying to see as best as we can.
What's happening?
So, okay, it looks like he's in same position. So, okay. So again, we are learning and we're watching this together in real time as a worker. And just to take it from the top, and let me refresh the page here from our content partners there at KPNX in Phoenix, Arizona. So here's what they have, and here's what they're reporting. Mesa firefighters are working to help an injured worker stuck at the top of a light pole at Hohokam Stadium. On Thursday morning, which is this morning, the worker was changing light fixtures when he sustained a head injury and felt he couldn't climb back down the structure. That's according to officials. And so when we first got here, we first got to this and took it live, crews were communicating with the worker.
Sign. Yes.
Yeah, which is a good sign. And over the course of the last 40 minutes or so, we've seen them sort of strategize below to now they're up there.
Right.
Working to actively get them down. You see folks
now
across the
people
street.
across the street are taking notice, yeah.
And they're probably seeing this from Live Impact News, what's going on.
That's right.
We're watching this in real time unfold, and we're keeping an eye on it. We want to make sure this man gets down safe. I'm sure, and obviously first responders want to make sure this man gets down safe. And again, this is a wide shot. This is Hohokam Stadium, home of the Oakland A's spring training.
Is this field used for anything else?
That's a good question. That's the first thing that came up, and you saw the sign that said,
yes.
Major League Baseball has, okay, here's what they have. The A's and the city of Mesa host spring training baseball here at Hohokam Stadium. Okay, so our Mesa home has become one of the best spring training experiences in the Cactus League. So I was trying to give a little bit more information.
Yeah.
Shot's about to go blue.
All right, and so this is, I can't tell if there's anybody else that plays here. So it looks like that shot, is that shot about to go out?
Looks like it. Let's go to this one.
Okay. All right, so you see that rescue unfolding in real time.
Lay down a mat of some sort. They're both of the rescue workers are around the worker now.
Okay. Yeah, they're on both sides of him. And did this, okay. I was trying to see if I could spot the mat that they.
You can kind of see it dangling.
Okay.
In front of where he is.
I wasn't sure if that was the mat or not, but yeah, that looks like, okay, there's the. And so he.
So he's facing the field. So he's turned around.
Yeah.
We're dangling. He's turned around.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess by the ropes they're going to lower him down. I mean,
right.
That's,
yeah.
Because you don't need.
It's the only thing you can do.
Right. You don't need 100 feet of rope. You just have to get him into the bucket truck.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looks like there are responders in that truck who I'm sure will receive him and guide him safely down.
And they, get two workers there to make sure they have. Yeah. And so again, this is a live shot. The camera here on the helicopter zooms in and out, and so zooming back in right now as we speak. Again, you're taking a live look here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Thank you for staying with us, tuning in here as we are following breaking news out of the Phoenix, Arizona area. Crews are right now working to rescue a worker who is stuck in the stadium lights. He was there repairing a light fixture this morning when he was hit in the head by an unknown object and not feeling well and could not climb down. So crews, first responders were called, and we've been on this since pretty much from the beginning. Since this shot actually just caught our eye on our feeds, and we took you straight here with limited information. We continue to get a little bit more information as the time passes, but you can see two rescue crew members. I believe I read firefighters.
I was wondering if it was, if they
I
set
believe
up
I read fire on their shirt.
firefighter.
They're up there with that man on both sides.
Looks like they're getting ready to lower him.
Yeah, so he was facing the field. Now he's facing the parking lot. So the camera looks like it's trying to adjust to get the right shot.
Now it's got to be really tight.
Woo. Yeah. And as you see right there from our breaking news panel, unclear how serious the injuries are.
Unclear how long he's been up there.
Unsure how long he's been up there. The article says this morning, but doesn't give the exact time. Again, we're talking about a 2-hour difference from where we are here on the East Coast. But a little progress from what we saw earlier. So we were wondering how they were going to get him down. Again, they have his feet the opposite direction. He's not facing the field. He's facing the parking lot now. And the bucket is just feet below. And so you see one of those first responders lowering down a rope or an attachment.
Right.
And so
that may have been them, because you can see there's a little harness or something on the end of it. That may have been them eyeing about how much rope and slack they would need to actually get it down there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know when situations like this will happen, but you train for it as a firefighter, as emergency personnel.
You'd have to imagine it's a unique day on the job for all of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And okay.
So he's sitting on the mat, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like it. Let me not. I answered pretty quickly.
I definitely think that's what we're saying.
Okay, so this is it's probably one of the best views we had so
nice
far
clear
of
view
the
of
man.
this.
So you see he's sitting there on a mat and he's hooked up. It looks like he's already hooked up.
It looks like he'll have to unhook one of the harnesses at least. See the one kind of on that main support pillar? Because I think that's the one he was probably
That's the one he did put up. Yeah, it was almost like a bright yellow kind of construction-y yellow one. That's been there.
Okay.
That he clearly attached himself to.
And so we hope this man is okay. I know, again, as we reported.
He seems responsive.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said he was communicating with him, which that's a great sign, you know.
Because that's the thing, that's the balance of, making sure he gets the safety is making sure that he doesn't sustain any other injuries as they work to get him down to safety. And you can see there's spring training, home of the A's, the athletics, Major League Baseball team. This is where they hold spring training. Again, that camera there on the helicopter zoomed out so you could see just everything, the response, obviously the baseball field, but more importantly, where this is all going down. This is on the north side of the stadium, if you're familiar with the stadium at all. And you can see just how high up this man is right now, this worker is. Again, changing light fixtures when he was hit in the head, had an injury, and couldn't come down.
I'm Googling now. I'm just unfamiliar with where exactly in relation to Phoenix is Mesa. Mesa is east of Phoenix, looks like. Okay. Looks like it's about 20 miles from like the heart of downtown Phoenix.
Okay. So not terribly far.
No.
And again, we are we're approaching. We're midway through. We're approaching the bottom of the hour. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We're following this breaking news out of Mesa, Arizona, as a worker. As you see right there, the man right there in the yellow neon shirt, stuck there on a light pole, feet high in the air, was hurt, fixing a light fixture. Help was called. This is at Hohokam Stadium, where the athletics, Major League Baseball team, that's where they hold spring training.
Let's see if this unfreezes itself or not.
But thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for tuning in with us. to watch this in real time. Details have been limited, but we have been gathering details as this afternoon rolls along. We first spotted this at this point almost an hour ago. It's been almost an hour since we've been following this. Let me double check my notes, and then you can see the man right there. He is in the harness. Okay, so it looks like. Okay.
There you go.
Here we go. It looks like we have some movement here.
Right.
As workers have made their way up there, now they have attached them to a harness and they are working to get him to safety. It's unclear, and again, we've been trying to figure out how they were going to get him through sort of this awkward shape fixture, feet high. This is the top one too. Okay, so it looks like he's moving. It looks like he's going to wedge himself out
through the bars,
so they can lower him down. And again, you're watching this in real time here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. The voices you're hearing, myself, Carlene, Jeb.
my heart is pumping. I know these are professionals. My heart is going.
Yeah, I think we all are. We all are. If you hear us pause for a little bit, it's because
we're taking it in.
We're taking it in just like you guys are. And this is tough to watch. It is. It's scary to watch.
These are professionals.
These are professionals, and we know he's in good hands, but it is a scary situation.
It's suspenseful.
Have you guys ever done what is it? Like when you're like on the tether.
Oh yeah.
Like zip lining and whatnot.
Yeah, zip lining. Yeah.
You know how stressful it is when you have to like actually get off the platform.
Yeah.
And you know it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You watch this before you do it.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for years. You know it's gonna be fine. But that level of stress. Now imagine that. I mean, there's a very high probability this man is concussed, right? Like he has a stress. Like I cannot imagine the stress of trying to orient yourself. And yes, I'm sure they're doing an amazing job, those first responders, of walking through the process. You can tell that they're helping him. They're giving him words of encouragement. Mm-hmm. But that is still a crazy leap of faith because he's going to have to eventually
at the very least, probably woozy. Maybe not
100%.
Concussed, but you know what I mean? You're kind of, if you're feeling out of it and
he wasn't able to get down.
Right. He didn't feel comfortable enough to climb down.
And it looks like he's changing his position a bit. Again, we see some movement, I should say, as he is.
I think he's getting back up.
It looks like
take this other feed actually is like a couple seconds ahead, so I'm gonna
okay. This is a couple of seconds. We jumped ahead, but he's now on his feet, and so I guess they're trying to figure out the right position so he can be lowered down. And again, if we pause, we're taking it all in, just like you are at home. And we are watching this all in real time. This is what Live Impact News is. When breaking news happens, we are getting this information. We are learning this stuff in real time. All right, so it looks like he is. Look like okay. Maybe they're trying the different direction.
Right.
And again, this is such an awkward fixture. You don't think about light. No. You don't think about how complicated it is here on top of these light fixtures.
Can't be that big of a platform. You've got so many little poles all around you that you have to navigate through with now ropes and rescue equipment and 3 grown men.
Right.
Like,
okay,
it's something to watch. I mean, it's wow.
He's in the air. Okay.
All
right. His feet are now planted on
a pole.
On a pole.
can't really tell, to be honest with anything.
So it looks like, okay, so they are going to, he's coming down now as we speak. So we are watching this all together in real time. Okay, that shot one.
Shot one out. You go back to
We have
one
another
that's,
shot.
That's a few seconds behind.
Few seconds behind, but yet still, you can see that man, he's coming down. As you saw earlier, if you've been watching the entire time, if you're just tuning in, a worker stuck there in a stadium light pole, fixing a light fixture. Actually, let's go back to our original shot. Okay, so he is coming down. He is coming down. Man, heart-pounding moments.
We're all sitting here.
We are, if you could see the faces of us all, we are worried, as we should, because this is a scary situation.
Yeah.
This is at a Major League Baseball stadium where they hold spring training.
Yep, and now he's going to be received by the men and workers in the...
I think it might be what you said before, though, Jeff. It might be just, we're just going to take them all the way, maybe
Yeah.
all the way down to the
Yeah, it looks
ground.
like, yeah,
It's one less step.
It looks like they've got plenty of rope.
Yeah. I want to, I don't know, I can't predict, but maybe the thought was to put them in the bucket, and then they measured how far
I mean,
it
this
is.
seems a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep this as he is coming down. I think we all can say here in the studio, we are thankful that he is finally coming down. He has been up there for a while.
We don't know how long, but at least a while.
Oh, we've been on this for like 45 minutes.
So we've been on this for a while now. Again, a man stuck there, finally coming down. Man, this is a
Sight to see.
It's a sight to see. If you could see the faces of Jeb and Carlene here in the studio, scary situation. Again, if you're just now tuning in with us, a worker was up there on the light pole fixing light fixtures, hit by an unknown object, hurt. It couldn't come down. And so crews have been working for the past hour since we've been on to get him down. And now he is almost down on the ground safely. We don't know the extent of his injury that he suffered up there.
We know he was communicating with crews and stuff, so he's...
And he was able to get on his feet at one point.
Right.
And so you see that he is pretty much there on the ground as first responders, firefighters receive him. Thank God that he is okay and he's back on the ground. He is right there on the gurney as they will unhook him. And then the first responders up there, up high. So he is there. Carlene, you want to take a quick break? So we know that he is, just to recap, a worker stuck there on a light pole in Phoenix, Arizona area at a baseball stadium, was just rescued moments ago. He is back on the ground in the gurney. So we're going to take a brief break, a step away. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. All right, so you hear the animation. We're talking about Panthers football. Time to get hype. We need a name.
Your favorite thing in the world.
Well, yeah, we need a name. I'm still working out a name. I'm workshopping the names. I feel like I'm good with names on workshopping. I'm not here by myself. You hear the voice of Carleen Bragg, but we got the one and only Eugene Robinson here in studio to talk Panther football.
You know
man.
that's right.
How you feeling,
You know
man?
that's right.
I feed off of Eugene's energy when it comes to football,
that's right, my
man.
brother,
Let's talk about it. All right, week one, just a couple of days away. Well, week one, actually, never mind. For the Panthers, is a couple of days away. Play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's start on offense. We want to talk about both sides of the ball.
Gotcha.
All right, let's start with Bryce Young. So last year, Dave Canales comes in. He's a quarterback whisperer. He changed around Geno Smith. He helped a guy like Baker Mayfield.
Yes, he did.
We had big expectations for Bryce last year. And Bryce, first play against the Saints, interception, and it felt like the first part of the season was kind of like, all right, throw the season away. And he turned things around, Bryce, and they were able to kind of get their feet underneath them. What are you looking for in this first game from Bryce in the offense? We'll start with Bryce.
Okay, well, let me go back. I think the best thing that happened to Bryce last year was getting benched.
Okay.
There's an education process that happens on the bench that you sit there and you have to watch somebody do your job. And then you have to wait your turn to get back in there. And you're chomping at the bit to get back in there because you're like, oh, I made these mistakes, but I'm going to be a little bit sharper if I get the chance. When he got the chance to get back in when Dalton went down, I said, that's the best I've seen him. Even despite the offensive line that was a little bit precarious, a little bit unstable, a little bit, he was able to find those little windows where you have to throw the rock at and get the ball out quickly, and that's what Coach Canales wanted him to do. I need you to get the ball out in 2.8 seconds, not 3.2, because if you're in 3.2 seconds, typically you're sacked.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, I saw him just grow, and I'm like, man, hold up, this dude he looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And then when I watched him this preseason, I'm like, wow, Bryce is ready. He is poised to have a very, very good season because I think he understands the landscape. He knows the plays. He's leading, and he's leading by example. He throws people open. Even when he hit T-Mac against Cleveland in that preseason game, T-Mac wasn't even looking for the ball, but the ball was like, boom, right on top of him when he came out that quick little angle route. Boom, it was right on top of him. I'm like, man, that's a good pass. Everybody talked about the drop. I'm like, hold up. That was an amazing pass to throw a man open and to hit him right as he's turning around. So from that standpoint, I think as we're looking at Bryce, get your popcorn and peanuts ready because I think this dude right here is going to have an excellent season.
I was just about to ask, did you see enough from Bryce in the preseason to say, okay, all right, I call it Bama Bryce.
Yes.
That Bama Bryce. You saw enough in the preseason?
That was Bama Bryce.
Yeah.
That was Bama Bryce. I like that, Bama Bryce, because don't forget, last year I was a proponent of it because I'm old school. I played 16 years. I'm an old school dude. Preseason, all the veterans played. Last year, that wasn't the case. Coach Canales, he didn't have that thing where let me play my veterans the first game, the second game, this third game. He didn't have that. They played one series in the very last game. That's not enough. That's not enough to get data on what is your quarterback doing, what is your offensive line, what's the chemistry. This year, Coach Canales went to, I'm putting my guys out there.
But folks are still critical, Eugene. I gotta hold the feet to the fire. Okay. Folks are still critical that Coach Canales did not play them enough in the preseason.
Yeah, but
what do you say to that?
So to that I say I saw enough activity. Don't forget they had the in-persons where you bring in the team. They went to Houston, Texas. They brought the Jets in. The Cleveland in, and so you got enough practice live under, away from peering eyes.
Yeah.
But when we saw what I saw in the preseason, I'm like, okay, 2 series there, okay, a series here, a long series by that way. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough.
Okay.
I've seen enough by Bryce because last year, my point is, Nick, when they didn't have that, dude, I'm like, how am I gonna get? I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready for the football season. Defensive backs gotta be able to go backwards. You gotta be able to read things. You gotta be able to go ahead and communicate back and forth. All that stuff did not happen last year. This year, it happened because Coach Canales had an emphasis on, let me get my starters out there to see what they do.
Can we talk about the offensive line? Because I know we talked about it a few days ago, offensive line, what you're expecting. Icky, the #1 pick from NC State from a couple of years, a few years ago, he's kind of had an up and down sort of career. And now we don't know if he's going to play week 1. He just had his appendix taken out. What are you expecting from this expensive offensive line?
So you had Icky, you got Hunt, you got Corbett, you got Lewis, and then you have Moulton. That's how.
And Brady Christensen.
And Brady Christensen, of course, he's that Swiss Army knife. So you had a number of guys, and then you had Savalas. You got guys who actually played last year, a lot played McCade. So you got enough guys who've had a lot of experience. That is the most experienced offensive line that I've seen in a very long time. And because of that, I think our bread and butter should be and will be 65-35 run to pass ratio, which means that hand the rock off to Chuba, hand the rock off to Dotto, hand the rock off to ETN. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this offensive line to get tremendous push to protect Bryce, yes, but to really make a statement that we can run against anybody. A third down and 1 is like third down in inches to us, and we have the offensive line to do that. And so from that standpoint, I think as we're going into this game, the best thing about the Carolina Panthers is the offensive line. That's the best thing about them, in my opinion, right now.
And you brought up a good point. Like, historically, Carolina's bread and butter has been the running game. So I think go back to the 03 season, when you talk about Deshaun Foster, you talk about Stephen Davis, who had a career.
That's right.
Also,
D'Angelo
and Stewart. And now you got a foundation with Chuba Hubbard, who kind of came out of nowhere. And a guy like Rico Dowdle.
Chuba Hubbard did a great thing. He and Rico Dowdle had the same thing. They weren't the guys who were the main guys.
Yeah.
You know, down in Dallas, it was the other kid, Pollard Pool.
Oh, yeah, Pollard. Yeah.
I might be having a memory thing on names. And then here with Chuba, he wasn't. It was the other guy. Was it Devontae Freeman? I forget. It was somebody else. It wasn't him.
Yeah.
And so you got to go ahead and bide your time.
Miles Sanders, who was there.
And Sanders, too. So he wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
So this is what guys like that who are not the guy think about. Man, you wait till I get out there. You wait. Because I'm that same person. I'm not the guy.
Yeah.
You're not looking at me. I'm not your #1 draft pick. I'm not the guy that, #2. I'm not the guy that you're thinking about saying, hey, get a rock to. But you wait. If you give me the ball, you wait. That's what he's been poised all season long like that the last couple of years. And that's why you see him pay dividends, because he had over 1,000 yards, well deserved, but he's been poised to have 1,000 yards because he's been biding and waiting his time going like this. If you get me out there, I'm going to let you know what time it is. And behind that offensive line, I think, now he and Dotto at the same, I think that, man, watch out. Those cats can be, they could be another resurgence of a D'Angelo and a Stewart.
And I think that's what helped Bryce's progression last year. You got the running game going, and you're able to hit those open throws, and we're able to see Bama Bryce again, and we're able to, and hopefully we're able to get Chuba the rock more during crunch time. I think that's what I want to see too. I want to see. I love having a 65-35 split, but whenever you can run the ball, that means you can pass the ball. Yeah.
And so I think our bread and butter has always been we've been able to run the ball. And whenever you're able to run the ball, dude, you made the quarterback's job that much easier. Because now they can't just load up against you and go, I'm going to go ahead and rush the quarterback. Go ahead and rush the quarterback and see what this draw hits you or this play action or it hits you. You go ahead and rush it if you want to. You got to be really solid in knowing what you're doing. So from our standpoint, if we're able to run the ball, we just put the defense on their heels right now because they don't know what's coming next.
Before we take our first break, I got to get to the receiving room. I came in here with a plan. Hey, Jalen Coker, our guy, that's our guy, Jalen Coker.
That's my guy.
No Adam Thielen. Hunter Renfrow is back with the team. It's been a couple of weeks for the Panthers wide receiver room, man.
It is.
Realistically, that pressure is back on XL, Xavier Legette, and T-Mac.
Exactly. Squarely on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, because first of all, you got to have a veteran presence. Losing Thielen's presence, that's why Hunter Renfro's back in the mix.
Yeah.
Don't make no mistake. And he wouldn't have been in, he would have been in the mix. They got him back in there sooner because when Jayla Coker just went down.
Yeah, he's on IR. He's gone for a month.
He's going to go on for the month. So now you're like, oh man, and I had high hopes that I think he's the best receiver on the team, in my opinion, Jalen Coker.
Yeah.
I think he's that guy. And so now it really does fall on to Leggett and T-Mac. Dude, you got to step up. Dude, you have to step up. So we're asking a second-year guy to be a 5-6-year veteran, and we're asking a first-year guy to be a veteran. That's what we're asking him to do. And that's what I was saying about that first pass that T-Mac, when in the preseason, when Bryce hit him in the end zone. Dude, when you come out of your break, get your eyes around and get your hands ready to catch the ball, because the ball's going to be on your chest, because that Bryce is that type of guy.
Yeah, he's an on-time thrower. And we talked about it a couple of days ago as we were preparing for the show. They got to play big. XL and T-Mac are big receivers, but at times they don't feel like they play big at all.
Yeah, a great point, because every defensive back knows when you go against a Terrell Owens is a big man. Kelvin Johnson, big dude.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going against somebody that's a big person, you're going like this, I gotta lock it down. Oh, okay.
Especially as a safety.
As a safety, especially if you're gonna be doing man-to-man, you better go ahead and bring your lunch. And when the advantage that T-Mac and the advantage that Leggett have, they got size. I can't teach size.
Yeah.
I can't teach you. That's your mom and daddy that got you tall. I can't teach that. I mean, you could go ahead and work out and put the muscle on it, but that height, now with that height, need I say you can go out there and try to bully people a little bit? You can go out there and try to go, man, get out of my way. Push them out of the way. You have that ability to do that. But if you don't play big that way, the cornerbacks and the safeties look at it and go, oh, man, you just a big man that's a big man, not a big man that's a big man with a big heart.
You're saying the same thing Michael Irvin said. I don't know if you saw the video of him at Miami practice telling wide receivers, I mean, you got to play big. You got to smack him across the helmet.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so we got to see that from those guys.
And they are, here it is, they are capable of it. And so if I could get into their head, I would go and say, hey, Lay, check this out. And Matt, when you were in high school, what'd you do? When somebody lined up against, what'd you do?
Bully ball.
You said, get out. What? You, please? Oh, please. You looking at the quarterback, throw up my side.
Yep.
I need you to go back and return to that. I don't want you to think of yourself as a rookie. I want you to think of yourself as a veteran who had football experience from peewee to high school to college. That's a lot of football. Now go ahead and beat somebody down legally.
Man, I'm hyped. I'm about to put on some shorts.
You know that's right. Beat down somebody legally.
Let's take a quick break. We talked about offense. After the break, we're going to talk about defense. Back here next. Look, hey, man, Jacksonville Jaguars, we're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. We actually got some good luck against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are you expecting as far as their let's talk about defense first, because they have Travis Hunter. They gave away a haul for Travis Hunter, a guy who's expected to play both ways, but we know him from corner. What are you expecting to see from the Jacksonville Jaguars defense?
The reason why they picked up Travis Hunter is because defensively, if you look at against the rush, they gave up 132 yards rushing. Against the pass, 257. Right, they couldn't stop people. 43% on third down efficiency. So they're not really getting off the field quickly. All right, they're getting off the field almost half the time from that standpoint of a third down situation. So I see why they got Travis Hunter, because they got on the back end they were getting torched.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, he's a shutdown corner. He's a Darrelle Revis. He's a Deion Sanders. That dude can cover.
You think so?
That dude right there can cover.
Okay.
He's like uncanny. Like, I don't think I'm like, dude, I think they're going to outrun him, but they don't outrun him. I'm like, dude, he has a way of sticking with you. And so I think he's a good corner and a great pickup. But defensively, I think there's just holes. The corner is not going to come up and stop the run.
Yeah.
They're going to stop the pass. Primarily, that's what they got to for stopping the pass. And so I think defensively, that defense, man, Bryce Young should be able to exploit that defense. Exploit that defense big time. They only had 6 interceptions last year. 6 interceptions. The takeaways weren't there.
Right.
Maybe make 32 sacks, 34 sacks around there. But that was like the only thing that was happening. When you went against the Jaguars, it was like defensively, you didn't know if they were going to hold up, and they didn't.
Okay, so let's talk about the opposite side of the ball, the offense, Jaguars offense. So they're going against a defense in the Carolina Panthers that I looked at the rankings and I regret I looked at them, because Panthers are ranked at
we
the
were
bottom.
32. We're bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, bottom. Can that Panthers defense shut down Trevor Lawrence, a guy who still we're waiting for that guy to prove that he is that guy?
Absolutely, and this is the reason why. Most people forget that last year, 2 of our major players weren't on the field at the same time. Derek Brown, defensive tackle, beast. 3 technique, 1 technique. He gonna shut. You gotta have 2 people block him. All right, and then DJ Wanham, that little edge rusher. When he had about almost 10 sacks towards the end, and he came in the middle of the season. Those 2 guys weren't on the field at the same time. Now you go get Brown, you go get Wharton, you got some other guys. We got Ashawn Robinson. That defensive front, that big defensive front just got better.
Yeah.
Just got better. Our defensive front got better. So from the standpoint, I'm like, this is a retooled defensive front. It ain't the same. And them dudes gonna be able to stop the run and put pressure on the quarterback. They're gonna make that back end of our secondary even better. Don't forget, you got J.C. Horn Jackson, a guy who I like. You got Morick, who came over from the Raiders.
I like him a lot.
There's another guy, Damani Richardson, who's in the background, who I absolutely love. He's another safety that dude needs to be on the field. But that's just me right there. So from that standpoint, you got guys here. The only thing we didn't talk about was the linebackers.
Yeah.
What's linebackers? Is Wallace going to show up? Well, with that defensive front in front of you, you should be able to make a lot of tackles, because they're going to be able to hold up on that offensive line. And that's what we're looking at. And don't forget, I know what you're talking about, the quarterback for the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. He had 3 different coaches, man. He has how many in 5 years? 3 different coaches. He's learning how many systems he has to learn. That's what Bryce was doing. You can't have the coach continue to learn stuff. I mean, the quarterback, because guess what he has to do? He has to worry about vernacular, communication. How do we say this? Do we say it like this? Is it 34 X pass, widescreen, 7 dump? What, you got to do all that stuff because you got a new system to learn. So now you got Trevor Lawrence, who is a veteran, worried about learning what the plays are, what the plays are called, and what everybody knows, as opposed to being Trevor Lawrence playing football.
I think the Panthers' strong front on defense is the defensive line, but it's kind of flipped because for the last several years, linebacker group has been awesome and secondary has struggled. But this year, the secondary is on paper pretty good, and we still have questions about our linebacker group.
Absolutely. That's where I think that, I mean, we picked up an edge rusher / linebacker on that one is Scorton.
Yeah, Scourton, yep.
So we picked up Scourton, and he's supposed to fit in, be that guy. We run a 3-4 system.
Yeah.
On second and third down, it becomes a hybrid of a 4-2 system that we get a hybrid. But right now we run a 3-4 system on first down. That's 3 defensive linemen in your face, and then you have 2 linebackers on the outside. The 2 linebackers on the outside is DJ Wanham, and I believe it's going to be Scourton. Maybe Scourton. I'm not sure who's going to have but that group, they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They're going to be able to put a lot of pressure. And if they hold their edges that we didn't do in the first preseason game, but we did it in the second preseason game, if we are about holding our edges, you watch out, man. Our linebackers are going to have a lot of tackles.
I'm excited. Year 2 with the same DC Evero.
Yep.
So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here. More Panthers talk. Eugene Robinson, myself. Carlene is also here. She's silently rooting for the Panthers. So we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, welcome back here. Talking about Panthers, first game of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm here with Eugene Robinson, breaking everything down. We talked about the offense. We talked about the defense. I want to get to some quick hitters, man.
Okay, cool.
All right, we'll start with this. X factors for Week 1 against the Jags. What was your X factor for the game?
So I'm looking to see how J.C. Horn, how does he do against Travis Hunter or B. Thomas Jr., because B. Thomas Jr. for the Jaguars, he has
a problem.
He's a problem. He got 10. He had over 1,200 yards. He got 10 touchdowns. I mean, he's a problem. So when we go man to man, I'm looking to see how does Jackson and how does J.C. Horn hold up against Travis Hunter and B. Thomas.
Okay, all right. 3 keys for Panthers 1. 3 keys. Let me get 3 keys.
So Bryce to be spectacular. I need my receivers to catch the ball, no drops. I need you to catch the rock and get that positive yards afterwards. And then offensive line, if you protect and you block, watch out. Watch out.
Just in that, as a former safety, Week 1, what's Week 1 like? And what's your message to your teammates? What was the message for your teammates Week 1?
My message is like that nervous butterfly feel that you feel as you're getting ready to run out on a kickoff or punt return, doing something for the first time. That's not butterflies. That's your system telling you that you about to do something special. So I always tell my guys, hey, you about to do something special. So the butterflies you feel, it's not because you're scared. It's because something great's about to happen.
Oh, man. All right. So I got one more. So Who's the guy or guys that maybe that don't have the big name for the Panthers, but you expect big things from them in week 1?
DJ Wanham.
Okay.
Thornton. Thornton played well in the preseason. I'm hoping he's out there too, because if he's out there in the secondary, he's a guy that he can cover. The dude can flat out cover. I like Thornton. And then we got to continue to talk about Christensen, because when Brady's in the mix right there, he can play any one of those spots. So a guy we haven't talked about who's going to be crucial is going to be Brady Christensen.
I got a question, and this is off the list. We hit those quick hitters. Can Mike Jackson, number 2 cornerback, can he legit be a number 2 cornerback for the Panthers?
Absolutely. He could be a number 2, but there's a guy waiting in the wings to be a number 2, and that's Thornton.
You think so?
Man, that dude can cover.
He played well during the preseason, but it looks different from the preseason to the regular season. I'm just saying.
I know, exactly. But don't forget this. Most people forget that when we think about all these players that they come in, they were super duper stars in college in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were going against Travis Hunter in college, they were going like this, hey, you got Travis, man. I'm gonna match you up. He thinks that way. He thinks that I'm one of the best guys out here, even though he doesn't having the opportunity to be there. And I'm telling you, when you think that and you play like that, guys that you'll know that you did in preseason, he played extremely well because he thinks that way. So I'm telling you, Thornton, you better watch out because he can take somebody's job now.
Look, Eugene Robinson might take somebody's job.
No, I can't play no more, dude.
You sure you can't play
no
anymore?
Nigga, I can't get down no more, man.
You don't have that itch to throw the
No,
pass?
I'm domesticated, baby. I'm watching TV, some popcorn, some peanuts. I'll holler at you, dude.
Hey, don't worry. Eugene's not going to play for the Panthers.
No, you know I'm not.
But he's going to be here every week with myself and Carlene talking about the Panthers. Every Thursday, we have it live here during Live Impact News, but 9 o'clock every Thursday on WCNC Plus. You can watch Eugene, myself. We still got to figure out a name. We're workshopping a name for the show. It's just week 1.
Any suggestions, Eugene?
Brothers with bald heads.
Brothers with bald heads talk Panthers. There we go.
Brothers with bald heads talking about the Panthers.
I love it, Eugene. We'll do this next week, my brother. Thank you.
All right, dog. You take care.
All right, man. Again, tune in every Thursday this season at 9 p.m. only here on WCNC Plus. Welcome back again. Don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. on WCNC Plus. Eugene Robinson and I talking about Panthers Week 1 versus Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know you're Jazz.
I am. I'm trying to keep it all together. Eugene got me
I told
hyped.
Jane this morning you're gonna be a kid on Christmas, and look at that smile.
Eugene got me hyped. I'm not gonna lie, he got me hyped. So you can catch Eugene and I and Carlene here every week of the season talking about the Panthers. It would be a great day to play a game. Great weather outside. If they wanted to do week 1 right now here in Charlotte, I know that week 1 is in Jacksonville, but they wanted to move the game to tonight. Here in Charlotte, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with that.
Well, as long as you're cool with it.
Yeah, as long as I'm cool.
It's all about next
Let's check in with our forecast with meteorologist Majestic Storm.
Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. I'm WCNC meteorologist Majestic Storm, and boy, it is a gorgeous start to the day, a nice start to the afternoon, but we are watching a few sneaky storms that may start to develop this afternoon and this evening, especially in the mountains and the foothills, so it's going to be northwest of Charlotte. Beautiful though, so hopefully you can get outside and enjoy this nice sunny Thursday before those storms do roll through. As we're heading into the weekend, the big story is going to be how hot it's going to feel. By tomorrow, temperatures, oh yeah, we're back into the 90s, plus it's going to be humid. And then on Saturday, if you have any plans, we do have a better opportunity for more showers and thunderstorms. But then by Sunday, we have a strong cold front that's all of a sudden going to knock our temperatures down into the 70s. And I'm talking about our daytime highs for multiple days in a row. Now this is for Charlotte for the rest of the day. If you want to get outside, you want to mow your lawn, you want to work in your garden, maybe just find some lunch and have some lunch outside, I'd say absolutely do it. It's going to be beautiful for the rest of the day. And in the mountain locations, we've had plenty of sunshine, temperatures mainly topping off into the 60s and 70s. But remember, for the mountains and foothills, you do have a chance of seeing some strong to even severe thunderstorms before the day is all said and done. 80 degrees though for our good friends out in Morganton and Hickory, 82 in Maiden. As we're looking up towards Statesville, 82 for you, 86 in Lincolnton, much of the same as we're looking towards Rock Hill. Lancaster, 86 is going to be your daytime high as well, and that's right around where we should be for this time of the year. It'll be a little muggy as we're heading into today, but especially as we're heading into our Friday and Saturday. So although our temperatures will mainly top off into the 80s, it's going to feel a little warmer than that at times. Now this planner is specifically for areas northwest of Charlotte. All areas shaded in yellow right here, you're under a low end risk for severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center has you highlighted, meaning that there could be some instability out there, some fuel for those thunderstorms to fire up. And if they do, they could quickly become strong to severe, and we could see brief heavy downpours, lightning strikes, even some strong gusty winds. So we'll watch that system. That'll likely clip at least parts of our viewing area. And then we have another weekend cold front that moves through mainly Saturday night and into Sunday. And remember with that one, it gets a little cooler back behind it. This is what you need to pay attention to if you're watching in an area like Boone or Morganton, even Hickory. This is where some of those storms may form. Again, we have a risk for some severe weather, and we haven't had that since the 1st of August. So really, we've had a break from the severe weather potential, but now we just need to be mindful of it, although it is a low-end risk. Here's our futurecast, what radar could look like. Again, here's about 4 o'clock, watching the mountains, watching the foothills, again, staying north and west of Charlotte, but some of those storms may linger. Here's 10 o'clock at night, so they could rumble a little later in the evening. Waking up tomorrow, there's our Friday. I'm talking about blue skies and sunshine, a gorgeous start to our weekend. Friday looks nice, but it's going to be Saturday, at least the second half of Saturday, that we'll have to watch for another round of passing showers and thunderstorms. There's 3 o'clock, there's 6, 7 o'clock. So again, a few things heading our way. If you're picking up the kids after school today, send them out to play. Perfect weather, whether they want to head out and ride their bike or play some basketball, I say absolutely do it. There's the next 3 days, feeling hot today and feeling even hotter as we're heading into the next 2 days. But notice as we head towards Sunday and into next week, our highs, they only rise into the 70s. Our lows only dip down into the 50s. That's going to feel nice. And there's a full look at that 7-day forecast. Enjoy today. We're bringing the heat Friday and Saturday and then cooling down by Sunday.
All right, folks, thanks so much for sticking with us here in the Live Impact News studio. I'm Vanessa Rufus, taking over for Nick Sturdivant. We've got a new feed coming in here to our newsroom. This one comes to us from Lake County, Tennessee, where we're seeing a quadruple murder suspect who is facing a judge. This is that case we actually brought to you first here as breaking news on Live Impact. This is the accused killer of a family of 4 in Lake County. Let's listen in to the court proceedings right now.
And I'm just going to go ahead and move over to the point that we're interested in.
General, while you're pulling that up, I want to ask one question. You're saying, I just heard a moment ago, you said on the time period right there, which is marked in the right-hand corner of the screen, bottom right-hand corner, that is actually, if it's saying 5:35, it's actually 53 minutes ahead in time. Is that what you're saying?
So it's got 53 minutes. So the time that's on there is 53 minutes.
Okay, so it should be 6:28 or 6 somewhere around. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure of that. Thank you.
Okay. I want you to look at this camera at the fire department. Tell me if you can tell me what these. I'm sorry. Let me back up just a second. You recognize that white vehicle?
It appears to be the white Traverse at Miss Courtney Rose.
And what direction is that vehicle traveling?
It is traveling north.
And what, in relation to the fire department, where is the crime scene?
If you're looking at the road, the direction that the car is traveling is the direction of Carrington Road.
Okay. So that car will be traveling in the direction of the crime scene?
Correct.
Okay. And then you recognize that vehicle?
It appears to be the vehicle that Mr. Brady Williams would have been driving.
Okay. And this would have been, since the time is all approximately Sept 6:28, somewhere around that time?
Correct.
Okay. Once again, this is the Chippenville Fire Department camera. Is that right?
Correct. Pointed south.
You recognize that vehicle?
I do. That is the vehicle that appears to be driven by Mr. Matthew Wilson.
And is that the vehicle that was not at the scene that you were looking for?
It was not at the scene.
Okay. And the time, once again, it is not correct. So is it approximately 20, 22, 23 minutes after the first 2 vehicles came by?
That's correct.
Okay. And then did you later find a video from the fire department as well of one of the vehicles or any of the vehicles leaving the scene?
We did.
Was there a video of all 3 vehicles leaving?
No, sir.
How many vehicles were actually leaving the scene?
There was a video, on this video, it only captured the truck.
Folks, we'll pivot away from this court appearance for Austin Drummond, the suspect in a quadruple killing in Tennessee. Turning now to a live feed that just got underway with Attorney General Pam Bondi. We see also U.S. attorneys for the districts in Florida and Texas and Vermont joining her as they talk about a human smuggling case. Looks like some specific enforcement actions that regard that. This is in Tampa, Florida. Let's listen in.
Attorney for Vermont, and to his right is Nick Ganji for the Southern District of Texas. On my far right is Matt Gagliotti, the Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Criminal Division. At this point, I'd like to present to you the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi.
Thank you. Thank you, U.S. Attorney Kehoe. Thanks for everything that you're doing, and to all our incredible U.S. attorneys around the country. My first day as Attorney General under President Trump's leadership, we announced that the Department of Justice would pursue the total elimination of cartels and transnational criminal organizations. Thanks to President Trump, many of these groups, many of these gangs are now classified as foreign terrorist organizations because they pose an extreme threat to not only our country, but to our world. They traffic drugs, weapons, and people. Every American community destroyed drives up their profit margins. No longer. We are investigating and prosecuting their crimes more aggressively than ever, and Joint Task Force Alpha is the tip of the spear. We have been working on that with Secretary Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, and I cannot say enough good things about Secretary Noem. I was with her in Louisiana yesterday, and she is fighting to keep our country safe every single day. Just this week, Joint Task Force Alpha took 4 major enforcement actions. Right here in Tampa, we unsealed the indictment charging 12 defendants operating a massive, right here in Tampa, a massive illegal smuggling ring. The defendants engaged in a conspiracy to bring illegal aliens from Cuba to the U.S. for profit. They coached their clients, including children, who came to airports alone, came to our country alone, were put on planes for connecting flights, lied to Border Patrol agents due to coaching, and law enforcement. They charged up to $40,000 per victim. They used Zelle to transfer over $7 million over the course of this scheme, and I believe had profits, cash, of over $18 million. And it's just not the southern border. In Vermont, and U.S. Attorney Drescher is here with us, we indicted Norma Lorenzo, a woman who allegedly worked with Canadian co-conspirators from Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and El Salvador. Children were transferred to private residences, other airports, and in 2023, according to CBP, parts of Vermont and New York started seeing unprecedented traffic from illegal aliens. Law enforcement officers operating in these areas encountered aliens from 97 different countries, including China, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, North Korea, and Yemen. In the Southern District this week of Texas, and Nick Ganji's here, we secured the extradition of 3 men from Guatemala who have been charged in connection with a mass casualty alien smuggling event. This tragic event occurred in 2021 in Chiapas, Mexico. A semi-truck containing at least 160 illegal aliens crashed, resulting in the deaths of more than 50 people. The cost of human smuggling is huge. So many families are dying, so many people are dying. These smugglers used a variety of vehicles, including microbuses, tractor trailers, and cattle trucks to smuggle multiple Guatemalan aliens, including many unaccompanied minors, into this country. In the Western District of Texas, where Justin Simmons is our U.S. Attorney, we just this week charged 4 defendants with their role in a deplorable scheme smuggling unaccompanied children into the United States from Mexico. These monsters behind the operation drugged unaccompanied children coming into our country, giving them THC so they would be asleep when passing through customs. One of the children was overdosed so badly that the child had to go to the hospital. Since President Trump took office, Joint Task Force Alpha has charged 56 defendants, including convicting a monster who attempted to bring in Indian nationals into our country in sub-zero weather through Canada in the middle of a blizzard. This was a family of 4. This family was eventually found dead in a blizzard with the father holding the 3-year-old little boy wrapped in a blanket with his glove covering his child's face, trying to save his life. In June, we arrested a Canadian-American citizen in New York for charging $1,000 for every illegal alien he smuggled over the St. Lawrence River into our country. One of the boats capsized, killing a family, including 2 children under the age of 3. A few weeks ago, we convicted a coyote in Texas. A coyote, of course, is someone who transports illegal aliens across state lines for money. In Texas, we charged him for charging $30,000 for every 10 illegal aliens that he could get get to the Rio Grande. He got an additional $30,000 for every 10 illegal aliens that made it across the Rio Grande alive. That is why we are now expanding Joint Task Force Alpha. It has 5 steps. We will now cover, the task force will now cover our northern border in Canada, of course, and all of our maritime borders. Our incredible partner again at DHS, Kristi Noem, and I are expanding this to include our DEA, ATF, and FBI agents to this task force to give us even more manpower. We will receive more resources to prosecute these cases, and key figures in cartel, human trafficking, and transnational criminals. We will strengthen our collaboration with foreign law enforcement throughout this world to protect not only their citizens, but ours, and return these criminals to American soil for prosecution. Under President Trump, we have coordinated more closely with our U.S. attorneys' offices to protect unaccompanied children being smuggled into our country from exploitation. One of the task force's greatest accomplishments has been demonstrating how dangerous human smuggling and trafficking are for those being transported. For those who are considering paying to be smuggled into the U.S., it is not safe for you or for your families. These coyotes are coordinating with terrorist organizations, collecting money from them to bring families and unaccompanied children into our country. These operations are getting people killed. Let me be clear, if you smuggle human beings, you will be found, you will be prosecuted, and you will be brought to justice. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what our borders are, the limit of where our country ends and another begins, but it does not limit our law enforcement capabilities to bring you to the United States and prosecute you and lock you up for as long as we can. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, General Bondi. I'm sure you, ladies and gentlemen, can see the commitment of the Attorney General to this endeavor. We just want to take a few minutes of more of your time and give you a little bit more detailed flavor of the cases that we have before you and the nature and extent of the horrific crimes that are taking place that General Bondi just outlined. After we finish these very brief comments, it will be open for questions at that point. And just bear with us, and we'll be there very soon. The first case that we're talking about is the case here in Tampa that General Bondi was talking about, United States versus Cabrera, which is 12 defendants, an international alien smuggling ring, and they also engaged in asylum fraud. And why did they do it? They did it for money and money alone. As General Bondi just noted, we have tracked at least $18 million trafficking through their account and laundered through their accounts to pay their expenses, to pay their co-conspirators. This was a profit-making motive that went on between 2021 and today, 2025. How did it happen? They used social media. They went on social media with Cuban individuals to tell them that they could get Cuban individuals and get them visas based on fraudulent conduct by putting their visas, which were based on European citizenship. They had co-conspirators throughout the world to gather these people up to try to get their money to participate in this. And I say co-conspirators. There are numerous co-conspirators. There were thousands of people, aliens, listed in their ledgers that they were doing this with. Their ledgers were sophisticated as any business that you will come across. Their ledgers had dates of travel, money owed, airlines used, smuggling routes. How did they do it? They brought these people through charters and commercial airlines through other countries. They put the fraudulent documentation together with these individuals. Of course, as General Bondi just noted, at $40,000 apiece. They spent up millions of dollars flying these people throughout the country before they came back into the United States. They would provide them with fraudulent visas based on the fact that they were saying that they were not in Cuba after 2011, when of course they were. With this fraudulent document, they coached these people once they came to enter into the United States. How did they coach them? They coached them to make sure you tell these people that you're a tourist. Make sure you tell them that you're just here for a visit. And of course, conceal the fact that you had come from Cuba. And then after and when you get into the United States, lay low for a while. Don't make any noise about things. Why? Because at the appropriate time, they wanted you to come forward to seek asylum, being a Cuban national. So they would then prepare the
All right, sorry, some issues with that feed out of Tampa, Florida, as you saw Attorney General Pam Bondi and other officials discussing human smuggling and enforcement efforts regarding that. Turning now to breaking live feed that we're seeing right now out of the San Francisco area. We've got several lanes we're seeing blocked on Highway 101. There is a police-involved shooting reported here. If you're familiar at all with the area, this is south of Cesar Chavez Street. The off-ramp, as you can see from these aerials, blocked off of the interstate because of the police activity. And as we mentioned, San Francisco police are asking folks to avoid, as they say they are investigating an officer-involved shooting. It does sound like they plan to give updates to the media there locally as soon as possible. They've put together what's called a media staging area. So there is the potential that we might be able to bring that briefing to you here on Live Impact in the next several moments. But for the meantime, just seeing these aerials, large police presence. In fact, a lot of the officers we're seeing standing there on that off-ramp. So once again, live images from San Francisco as we're seeing closures on Highway 101 and the off-ramp due to a police-involved shooting. Still trying to get some more information about how the shooting started, what the fate of anybody who might have been involved with the shooting is. We haven't heard of any injuries, but of course, if we hear about that, we'll pass that along to you here on Live Impact News. Look right now, as you can see, the choppers kind of circling around as we would expect with a lot of closures and also just in general, the heavy traffic we usually see in this area. It's slowing down a bit as folks pass on by that scene. This is going to be, once again, 101 and the northbound lanes, we're told in particular, the ones that are going to be impacted. Sounds like they don't have any sort of ETA for reopening lanes. So they don't know exactly how long this investigation is going to take and how long it could impact the traffic. But I believe we're kind of around that lunchtime hour. So not in the middle of rush, but I suppose the traffic this any time of day is probably going to be pretty heavy. There, yeah, you can see kind of coming around here, the specific off-ramp, as we mentioned, going to Cesar Chavez. We've got the right travel lane looks like blocked, as well as that off-ramp. And crime scene tape, it does appear, blocking off just one patrol car. Looks like all the other patrol cars that might be responding to that scene are outside of that crime scene tape. So unknown if that specific patrol car you see on your screen is related to the actual officer involved shooting. But like I said, once we find out, we'll let you know. Got a couple of other feeds that we're keeping an eye on. It looks like we did just get back now our feed out of Tampa, Florida, as officials, including Attorney General Pam Bondi, are giving an update on human smuggling enforcement. Let's listen in once again.
Learn a little bit about what Texas justice looks like. But the Southern District of Texas work with Joint Task Force Alpha has yielded other successes as well. A few notable examples. We indicted and convicted 14 defendants who conspired to smuggle hundreds of illegal aliens via dangerous methods, including packing them in suitcases, repurposed water tankers, and wooden crates with little ventilation or room to move. We recently obtained pleas from 6 smuggling defendants who, among other things, left a man to die of heat exhaustion in the Texas brush. We indicted and convicted a human smuggler that had transported dozens of illegal aliens, including minors, and then led police on a high-speed chase through the streets of Laredo. And we obtained a 103-month sentence against a former CBP officer who betrayed his oath and took bribes to allow illegal aliens and cocaine to pass through his lane at a port of entry. Smuggling is a wicked and remorseless business, and it has no place in any civilized society, let alone the United States. And the Southern District of Texas will do whatever it takes to eradicate this industry once and for all, and to put those responsible in prison for as long as the law allows. So for those considering coming to this country illegally, our message is clear. Don't do it. Don't put your life or safety or those of your loved ones into the hands of the cartel. They do not care if you or your children have access to food, water, or even air to breathe. They do not care if you live or die. And our message to these smugglers is equally clear. You can run, but you can't hide. If you're not already in cuffs, you will be in cuffs soon, because the United States does not forget. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to United States Attorney for the Western District of Texas, Justin Simmons.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Justin Simmons. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas. Thank you, General Bondi, for organizing this today. Also want to thank President Trump for the encouragement and the motivation he's given all of us to take these alien smuggling organizations and the cartels that they work with. You know, Juarez, Mexico is right across the border from El Paso, Texas. And for years, Juarez has been plagued by violence, kidnapping, and murder. Cartels have been warring over that area for decades because it's a key route for trafficking drugs and smuggling humans into the United States. These cartels have no bottom. There is no limiting principle on how low they will go to enrich themselves. We saw an example of this recently in a case where a woman named Susana Guardian with her husband Daniel, her daughter Diane, and Diane's husband Manuel Valenzuela to smuggle children from Mexico into the United States. Basically what she would do was contact U.S. drivers who would come across and pick up these children and then take them back across the border. Prior to being picked up, Susanna would prep these children by sometimes telling them what to say when they got to the POE, the port of entry, or a checkpoint. Other times she would give them THC gummies, as General Bondi said, to calm them and keep them compliant throughout the process. In this particular case, the children that were given the THC gummies were 12, 9, 3, and 2. When CBP recognized when they were trying to cross with this group of children that something wasn't right, they saw it, they realized those children needed some kind of medical treatment. They got a couple of them to the hospital to receive that treatment. They were later diagnosed with THC poisoning. As U.S. Attorney Ganji said, as General Bondi said, these cartels, these organizations do not care about you or your children when moving them across the border. So we're really happy that we were able to get arrest warrants this weekend and get at least 2 of these individuals, Diane and Manuel Valenzuela, off the street. The 2 other individuals, Susanna and Daniel Guadian, are still at large, but we will do everything we can to bring them to justice as well. You know, nothing crosses the border without the cartel's permission, and nothing crosses without payment to the cartels. These cartels see children just like they see a kilo of Coke. Dollar signs. That's all they see. They care nothing about their well-being. Additionally, these organizations often use stash houses in American neighborhoods where they will put these aliens that they're smuggling across for days, weeks at a time. This endangers those neighborhoods, endangers those people who live in those areas, and it brings organized crime to Main Street USA. We will not have it. We will do everything we can to shut down these organizations because it hits the cartels where it counts, in their pocketbooks. That is all they care about, how much money they can make. And it makes America safer for Americans. It makes this place, this country, a place where you as an American can not just survive, but thrive. So that's what we're committed to. I want to thank our partners with Border Patrol, Customs and Border Protection, and HSI for their work on this case. I also want to thank Joint Task Force Alpha and their help putting this case and many other cases together. You know, in San Antonio earlier this year, we got life sentences on folks who had smuggled individuals in a tractor trailer into the United States. 54 individuals, 53 plus 1 unborn child, died in the back of that tractor trailer. So I'm really really thankful for Joint Task Force Alpha and the work they've been doing with us as well. We are on a mission to shut down these organizations and the cartels more broadly. In the Western District of Texas, this is what we do. Thank you very much.
So lest you think this problem is just on the south border in Texas and Florida, I'd like to bring up U.S. Attorney Mike Drescher from the District of Vermont. Mike?
Thank you. I want to thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for your remarks, and I want to thank you, U.S. Attorney Kehoe, for your hospitality hosting this event. I especially want to thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for bringing attention to the extraordinary work that the men and women of the United States Border Patrol and Homeland Security investigations are doing in Swanton sector, the portion of the U.S.-Canada border that includes Vermont, northern New York, and New Hampshire. Thanks to their work and the work of Joint Task Force Alpha, the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Vermont has obtained a 7-count indictment charging Norma Linda Lozano, who's 53 years old, of Ypsilanti, Michigan, with 1 count of conspiracy to commit alien smuggling and 6 counts of bringing aliens to the United States who lacked permission to enter or to remain in this country. As alleged in court filings, through much of 2024, Lozano repeatedly smuggled and attempted to smuggle illegal aliens into the United States from Canada. She did this for profit, negotiating payment with her Canadian co-conspirators and coordinating with them the locations where she would pick up her loads of non-citizens, aliens entering the country. As alleged, Lozano's methods included, echoing some of the comments we've already heard today, hiding a child alongside luggage in the far recesses of the vehicle that she was traveling in, disregarding the child's safety and welfare. These offenses are serious for several reasons. First, they aid and abet those who are seeking to enter the country illegally. Second, they exploit those people who are desperate and misguided enough to try to enter the country illegally. On the northern border, such illegal crossings frequently involve trekking through forests and swamps in inhospitable and dangerous circumstances. And third, they facilitate the unvetted aliens entering the United States for unknown and possibly nefarious purposes. In short, offenses such as those charged pose a risk to the nation's security. And the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Vermont is proud to work with the United States Border Patrol, Homeland Security, and Joint Task Force Alpha to help secure the northern border. Ms. Lozano was arrested Tuesday of this week in the Middle District of Georgia, where today she had her initial appearance in Albany, Georgia. She's been transferred to have subsequent appearances in the District of Vermont. Last, I want to recognize the hard work of Assistant United States Attorneys Matthew Lasher and Michelle Ara, who, under the leadership of Jonathan Opart, the Chief of the Criminal Division for the District of Vermont, have teamed up with Task Force Alpha Trial Attorney Jenna Reed to seek to hold Lozano and others engaged in similar conduct responsible for these offenses. Thank you.
We're ready to take questions. If you want to direct them to any of the states, just let us know. Questions? Well, how about if we start on this side of the room and go over? Any questions?
Are you seeing any connections between the cartels operating on the southern border that have been designated as transnational criminal organizations and the smuggling organizations in New York and Vermont? And then the second question for you, Attorney General, a judge ruled.
All right, folks, during this Q&A, we're going to pivot to another headline for us. This one's going to be closer to home out of Gastonia. As we saw just today, Gastonia Police Department officially unveiling its new real-time crime center. This is, they say, going to be a state-of-the-art facility that will help with public safety and support officers in the field with what they're calling real-time intelligence and technology. This got a lot of funding and grants to make this possible and essentially will make them part of a nationwide network with more than 5,000 other law enforcement agencies and 6,000 community and business camera partnerships, so cameras surveillance, if you will. Let's listen into this announcement of this real-time crime center from earlier today.
Ways. Most importantly, it's going to save lives. In the towns and cities that have implemented real-time crime centers like this, they have seen it work. They've seen it save lives for a number of reasons. The coordination of all of the different pieces of technology that are going to help law enforcement reduce response time, find perpetrators, keep citizens safe, keep themselves safe, is a major step forward for this entire community. I'm really grateful that folks here, local leaders, law enforcement leaders, decided to make this a priority. You are going to feel great about having made this investment. When you talk to the handful of other towns and cities in North Carolina that have made this investment, none of them regret it. They all feel really good about the decision to do this. And there aren't that many. To be clear, as of today, Gastonia is on the forefront of innovative law enforcement because of this investment in real-time crime. There are only a handful of places in this state that really have operational capabilities like this. And it is up and operational as of today, actually as of recently, and they had a good, successful early use case yesterday that I think you're going to hear a little bit more about. So my gratitude to the local leaders, and for community members who are just now learning about this investment. This is a great investment on your behalf to keep you, your friends, and your family safe. I think I'm going to be followed by your esteemed District Attorney, Travis Page.
Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Attorney General, I know you as a law school classmate. It's an honor for you to be back here in Gaston County, especially here as also a former assistant district attorney in our office. And so thank you, Chief Conard, for your leadership, for making today happen. Thank you to our city council, our city administration, for what you've done to support this endeavor. And again, thank you, Attorney General Jackson, for making this day possible, for what you did as a congressman for Gaston County. Today, what we could only previously envision in the movies and on television becomes a reality for the people of Gaston County. The technology of the 21st century is here in Gastonia at this police department today. And we are going to use it in our battle against crime. It's a testament to our commitment and our dedication to protecting and serving, and it's a testament to our desire for the people of Gastonia to live with safe streets, safe homes, and safe schools. Today, with the public's partnership, we will have the same capability to be able to respond in real time to crime across this community, to give our officers and our SWAT teams and our response teams eyes and ears inside of our shopping centers, our malls, our places of worship in times of crisis. Our law enforcement will have the ability to conduct, as we saw firsthand yesterday in the takedown of a local drug dealer, the ability to conduct and execute operations across multiple locations simultaneously while protecting our officers and sending them safely home to their families. So today we give thanks for this gift to our community, and we also ask for the public partnership. We ask for the public's buy-in and their ability to work with law enforcement to make this tool the tool that it can be for our community and to make our community safer. And so thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here for this exciting and monumental day for the City of Gastonia and the Police Department. Today we're dedicating and officially opening the Gastonia Police Department Real-Time Crime Center. It's a powerful new tool in our ongoing mission to protect and serve our community. This center represents the next step forward in modern policing. We're using flock safety technology and a network of cameras positioned strategically throughout the city, which gives us the ability to monitor public spaces in real time, quickly identify criminal activity, and respond faster and more effectively than ever before. This technology will allow our officers to instantly access critical information from identifying vehicles involved in crimes to tracking patterns of crimes and helping us solving cases and missing person cases as well. Many of these cameras are here because our residents and businesses chose or will choose to give us access to their camera systems in order to make everybody safer in the city. The police are the public and the public are the police. That's been said since 1829, Sir Robert Peel, one of his 9 principles. And that holds true today. I mean, we can't do it by ourselves. If we don't have our community supporting us and involved with us, helping us to make this city safer, more eyes, the better. And so that partnership, we really depend on our community to partner with us, and we're very thankful for a great community here in Gastonia. I want to thank our mayor, and members of council. Also, our city manager, Michael Peoples, our assistant city manager, Adrian Miller. Their vision, leadership, and continued support is what made this possible. I would also like to thank Dr. Tanya Taylor for taking an idea and making it a reality. Without her, the center wouldn't be here today. Assistant Chief Nancy Brogdon and Assistant Chief Randy Gant were also have been instrumental in the development of this real-time crime center. I would also like to thank our officers and staff who will be working diligently to turn information into action, and the community members who have embraced this partnership. We can't do it without you. In closing, I want to say that the Real-Time Crime Center is not just an investment in technology, it's an investment in public safety and the future of our city. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. And like every person before me has talked about this, we couldn't do today without all of our community partners, our partnerships within the city, everyone. And so the 2 individuals that I will introduce are part of those partnerships that we're going to be utilizing as we move forward. So you'll hear more from me when we move downstairs to actually see the Real-Time Crime Center, and we'll talk about those individuals who partnered with us to build the center. But right now I want to introduce Max Weinstein with with flock safety. And so you have heard a lot about flock safety, but he's going to tell you a little bit more so that you understand what you'll see when we get downstairs. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Max, and I represent Flock Safety. Flock Safety is a technology company based out of Atlanta, Georgia, founded in 2017 with the mission to eliminate crime, and we believe in it. We believe in making safer communities, and we believe in doing it through technology. We provide technology solutions to public safety agencies and jurisdictions around the country. We partner with over 5,000 jurisdictions to provide technology support, hardware and software, in order to get police departments and assist police departments and public safety jurisdictions from moving from a traditional model of policing to a real-time model of policing like Gastonia has done. We're incredibly excited to be here. We're incredibly excited to see this project come to fruition. It has been a tremendous amount of work for the men and women of Gastonia Police and for the city, and we're really excited to have your trust as a partner in this process. Very happy to be here myself, and to the men and women of the police department, as somebody who came from a policing background, congratulations. This is really cool, and I think you're going to very much enjoy coming into work and having these tools at your disposal to better solve crime and more efficiently do your job.
I would also like to introduce Ms. Jennifer Killen. She is the director of Piedmont Community Charter School here in Gastonia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be here and very excited for our school, Piedmont Community Charter School, to be a part of the Real-Time Crime Center. At Piedmont Community Charter School, we are committed to providing a safe and orderly environment where every student can learn, grow, and thrive. We believe that a secure campus is essential for fostering academic excellence and building strong character. This year marks our 25th anniversary serving families in Gaston County. Today, I am grateful for our partnership with the Gastonia Police Department that further solidifies the school's commitment to safety. Our collaboration with the Real-Time Crime Center represents a significant step forward in our campus safety and security measures. By integrating our school's existing security camera and systems with the center, we are creating an additional layer of protection for our entire school community. This means that in the event of an emergency, the Gastonia Police Department will have immediate access to critical information, allowing for a faster, more effective response. This initiative is designed to deter potential threats and to provide a swift, coordinated response should an incident ever occur. It is a testament to the Gastonia Police Department's dedication to community well-being, and we are grateful for their willingness to collaborate with us. Our commitment to privacy remains paramount. This program is for emergency response and prevention only, and all data will be handled with the highest level of security and in full compliance with all laws and regulations. The purpose is not surveillance, but protection. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Taylor and Assistant Chief Brogdon for sharing their vision and for partnering with us. This is a momentous day for our school and for the safety of our students and our staff, and thank you all.
Okay, so now we're going to open up for questions. I will not be able to answer all of them, so I will be turning to some of you to answer these questions. So we'll open the floor.
For the chief, this kind of, for layman's terms, just kind of tell the folks out in public how this lab works.
We'll let her more answer that.
So when our officers are out in the field, right, a call will come in. It will come through our dispatch center. Those calls are filtered out, and then they are assigned to a close officer or officer within that beat. We will have analysts in that room that will immediately see that call on our Live 911 as the call comes in. So that's even before an officer has been dispatched. So we'll immediately be able to look where the location is. We'll be able to look exactly where those cameras are surrounding the location. We can begin to look at who is present at the crime, or if it's a missing person, where did that missing person begin? Where are they going? Can we follow them? So something you'll see downstairs is that we are moving towards what's called a drone as a first responder. And so that will allow us to be able to move the camera in the event that something is happening. And so our analyst in that room will immediately begin looking at, do we know any information about those individuals already? Do we know, do they have any past criminal history? Do they have any past medical history that might be affecting things? And then we'll move forward through that to see if we can provide actual real-time information to our officers in the field to keep them safe and to keep our community safe. Yes?
If you can, there's always that question about Big Brother, and that is how much officers are watching you doing what you do every day and what the value of that is. The question is, are you under surveillance even though you're not under suspicion?
So I do not have enough staff to be looking at 300, 400 cameras a day. We are using this technology to keep our officers safe and our public safe and our community safe. And so no, if you are not committing a crime, we are not looking for what you are doing. We are looking to find missing people. We are looking for missing children. We are looking to find individuals who are making the worst crimes happening in our city. So I'll also let Max speak about this a little bit. I think that will help you answer some of your questions. Max?
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate that question. There's always the question of Big Brother, and I think it's something that we as a company take really seriously. We have certain safeguards built in to ensure that every single movement made within our system, both software and hardware, is recorded and auditable by command staff, by administrators of the Real-Time Crime Center and of the police department. As Dr. Taylor said, I don't think there's a real-time center in this country that has the ability to watch every citizen, nor the rationale to do so. Good real-time centers are the backbone of them is good policy, and we have been and will continue to be involved with helping to ensure that Gastonia has access to other real-time centers around the country to model their policy based on precedent that's already been set elsewhere.
And while you're there, one other question in regards to predictive analytics. That is analytics that allow you to see when people are showing up in multiple locations for which they can become suspect. Can you talk to us about the AI and the system used there?
Sure, yeah. The AI within our system is not used for what a lot of people are familiar with. The term is predictive policing. Flock is not a predictive policing company. We utilize AI to make investigations, to make patrols safer. The reason that real-time is so effective is because the most dangerous part of this job, the most dangerous part of law enforcement is the unknown. And with this technology, we are for the first time able to start to quantify the unknown. And that's why it's so important and why it's so successful.
Are everyday citizens able to request video for incidents and gain access to it if there was an incident somewhere a citizen was involved in? Are they able to request and gain access to video that's being recorded?
I'm going to let the Gastonia folks answer that question.
No, they will not be allowed access to our Flock cameras or our access to the video footage that we record.
We heard that there was other cities, other places in the country that uses this technology. Kind of, do you have like their response for that? What they've been talking about as far as how it's effective in their non-fighting?
So by being a partner to Flock, we have the access to over 5,000 different law enforcement agencies' cameras throughout the United States. And we have the ability to partner with 6,000 different commercial businesses throughout the United States. And some of the big chain companies such as Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, and Ulta are all Flock customers as well. So we have the ability to utilize their cameras.
So what have they been saying about technology that has been useful for?
Oh, there's so many success stories. We could name so many. Max, do you have one right off the top of your head that you'd like to tell?
I mean, honestly, there are so many that, sure. I'll just stand back here. I don't want to call out any, individual jurisdiction that aren't present today, but I'll say, from a statistics standpoint, agencies that have employed real-time solutions have seen an incredible organic growth in their solve rate and a reduction in their occurrence of crime. As Chief said before, Sir Robert Peel, whose 9 principles have established our law enforcement paradigm for North America and really the world, this feeds directly into that, and that is deterrence is the best. The best police department is the police department that doesn't have to respond, that doesn't have to arrest someone, and you will start to see that organically with a good real-time solution.
Any numbers that you may throw out there?
There is an agency that I'm familiar with that have a 100% clearance rate on homicides, and this agency, prior to implementing a real-time solution, is a large agency in a large metro area, had about a 63% clearance rate for their homicides. The last 4 years, their reporting, it's called NIBR's reporting or CompStat, have shown a 100% clearance rate for homicides. That is an incredibly powerful number, and that is not unique to that jurisdiction.
Can you talk about the cost of the full program?
I mean, no, because 1, I'm not in sales, and 2, every single jurisdiction is unique in the solutions that they employ. It very much depends on the needs of your community and the needs of your department and what your goals are for your real-time implementation.
I did have one thing to say about the, I did have one thing to say about the expectation of privacy and the Big Brother situation, and I certainly understand how people wouldn't want to be videoed or for us watching them at all times. But it's really nothing new. You go in any Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, at any point in time, you've got cameras. There's a lot of cameras in big business. And at any point in time, somebody could be following you around the store. There's no expectation of privacy in a public place. Okay, if you're in public, you're in a store, a gas station, whatever, if they've got a video, I mean, you're going to be recorded. I mean, it's plain and simple. So we're not going anything far outreach that's not already being done or being done and has been done for years and years and years. We're just bringing that to help us solve crime. Thank you.
What is the opt-in process for businesses, and do you automatically get to see their footage, or can you request it from them knowing that they haven't?
So there's some documents downstairs that each one of you can take with you, and it has a QR code, and it goes to our new website called Gastonia Safe. And on there, that gives you 3 different options. You can register your camera and just let us know, hey, I have cameras, it's at this address, if you have something, please contact me. There's another way you can integrate your cameras, so you can contact us or go through that QR code. It goes straight to Flock, and Flock will allow you to either come through what is called their API solution, or you can use one of their NVRs, which they plug directly into your camera system. And then we provide a memorandum of understanding with you, and we go through when are we allowed to access your cameras and when are we not allowed to. So that is what we do with the school systems as well. Yes.
And can I give you an example, just how it'll benefit? Let's say that a gas station on the other side of town, there's an armed robbery that comes into dispatch. Normally, the call would come into dispatch. Dispatch would issue it out to an officer. The officer will be en route emergency traffic to the armed robbery in progress. The officer, now depending on staffing and things, the officer might be coming from a long distance. They might have been in a different district, having to travel across town, whoever. But regardless, it's going to take time. With this technology, when our employees in the Real-Time Crime Center hear this call come out, they can immediately, if it's a partner with us and you have a wing, we could immediately access the camera system, probably catch the person inside the store, have a full clothing description, things of that nature, because a lot of times people can't remember what they were wearing and specifics. And if there's outside cameras, we can see what kind of vehicle they're in and which direction to travel they're heading. That will give us information that we need that is going to help us capture them a lot quicker than normal. And oftentimes, because a lot of times on these types of calls, they're gone before we arrive. And so we're playing catch up. This just evens the playing field.
This is what the chief, how did the idea came about?
How did the idea come about? Well, the Real-Time Crime Center? It's something that a couple other jurisdictions across the United States had. It started out as just an idea. It was presented to Dr. Taylor as well. She is the brainchild behind it. I would definitely say she has, if it wasn't for her, we would not be here today. There's no doubt about it. But it was something that we all talked about. It's something that council and management supported us on. And